Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Drop Frames. Hope you guys are having a good start to your Sunday. Unless you're in Europe, then it's ending. Regardless, I hope it's going well. Zeke, we got a new camera on you today. You're looking fresh, lively, 60 FPS, colorized.
That's right. Full color TV.
Full
going on
Technicolor.
for you.
Full Technicolor, yeah.
Exactly. I got that new Elgato Hotness,
Ooh.
the Facecam Pro,
Ooh.
and everybody asked me the same question, like, why don't you just get a fucking real camera?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, why don't you just get a fucking real camera? How much was that Elgato thing?
It wasn't that bad. I mean, as far as cameras goes, it was $300.
Yeah, I mean, that's still cheaper than, a $3,000 camera. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And people in my chat are prone to tell me, like, you don't have to get a $1,300, $1,500 camera, man. You could get one for like $800. I'm like, I'm gonna break that shit. Okay, listen, I'm gonna get something that I can, just afford to replace.
That's true.
if need be.
You do have the habit of things breaking around you. No one knows why, though. We can't really figure that out. What's the reasoning?
I don't either. I don't get it. What the hell's the deal?
Oh, the chroma key's going crazy.
Oh yeah, the chroma key. Yeah, still haven't dialed it all the way in yet.
Yeah. You might notice some virtual errors there. Go ahead. You're not done.
Oh, sorry. I did a side by side comparison.
It looks better.
The Facecam and the Facecam Pro, and the general consensus is that once I get the colors dialed in, like, it's gonna be a lot better.
Yeah.
And supposedly, like, on the box, it says it does 2K P60, which, I mean,
yeah.
How what's the best that you can, like, send out through Twitch?
1080p 60, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's bottlenecked, of course, but like there are differences that the people that can see, and I could also see as well. It's just
the visual files.
Yeah.
The new camera woes of, getting everything tweaked correctly, and so I don't look, orange or pink, so I look like natural. And the thing is, like, when I was fucking with the settings, I looked at it and I was like, oh god, you look so pale. Oh, that's real. Oh, it makes me look.
That's the biggest lie streamers have, is that we're all just pasty white nerds for the most part.
Yeah. For realsies. Like, when I put them up side by side, I'm like, man, I gave myself quite a tan with that other camera, with the first camera.
Yeah,
I look healthy.
That's true.
I look sun-kissed.
I have Rudolph syndrome, I think, is the technical term for it, where just my nose gets real red. Yeah. So, happens.
One of my mods sent me I have a Discord for, on-air messages, direct messages.
Yeah.
Hey, heads up, your camera looks like fucking garbage. Have a great show. Thanks, guys.
Fantastic. Mods,
I think it looks fine.
Real. Yeah, I think it looks fine.
Why do I have these people?
I don't know. You let them do it. Yeah. It's on you.
Keep me humble, I guess.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
That's true. Co, I was going to say, ever since you joined the call this morning, you've been distracted, and I have to know what you're playing to command this attention.
So what I'm trying to do is get my game ready for the cozy stream in this game called Star Sector. And I have put myself in a position where my save game is essentially bricked because I saved right before this really, really difficult thing. And I'm trying to figure out some way around it so I can actually play tonight. It's not going very well.
That's tough. Keep us locked in then. Let us know. Interrupt anything that's happening on the show. Let us know when it's fixed, that you're good to go.
I will. I appreciate it.
We're
getting close. We're getting close.
Good. Everything else going good, Co? We were talking about it before, the beard. You got like a full...
Yeah, we're getting it in a little bit, getting the sides in, trying to escape my my Tyrion Lannister look that I got going on right now, as I get called all the time.
Look good.
Oh, dude, I saw that Halloween costume or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, fan-fucking-tastic.
Kind of leaned into it a bit. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah, things have been good, man. Doing the God of War, the Star Sector, getting ready for Pentiment. It's gonna be interesting.
Oh,
and the only other small side thing is I got cleared to announce it and everything. I re-signed with Twitch.
Nice.
So yeah,
Wow.
I
One of the
Yeah.
chosen.
One of the chosen.
yeah, I know, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. After a long back and forth and a lot of talking with a lot of people.
Yeah.
We finally came to something that I feel really good about. So yeah,
Awesome.
it's good. So I'm a Twitcher for the foreseeable future.
Great. I don't have to
Nice.
figure out how to stream to YouTube and also on Twitch at the same time. I'm glad that's not a thing I have to deal with. Future JP
Yeah.
might, though. We'll see. Who knows? Who could say?
So do you have? Would you? Okay, without because this don't want a specific number because that's
I do, honestly.
something that
Yeah,
we
me and
discussed
Tucker,
about.
please, to give us
We
the.
well, obviously
the
we would
actual-
love a specific number, but I don't want to put you on the spot. Would you say you have fuck you money, meaning like someone comes to you with a lawsuit of whatever nature, and you'd be like, "Fuck you."
We all know that's how
I-
Poe would respond, regardless of how much money he had.
The thing is, I have 3 kids, so I don't. Is the short answer. Like
Yeah.
not only do I have to future proof, but a lot of times these days, the second I get large amounts of money, it instantly goes into some kind of money making machination, like stock these days or real estate or something. So
Yeah.
I don't is the short answer. I don't. Also, this house that I moved into last year, we've been not only doing some major upgrades, but also some pretty major repairs. So that's been it's not a money sink because it's our forever home, but we are turning something that was great into something like long-term amazing. So that's taken a lot of my funds for sure.
So this wasn't a house that you had built. This was a house that you moved.
No.
Okay.
This was a house that was built a while ago, and it had some interesting things about it when it was built that we're having to figure out and work around and kind of make ours essentially.
They all do.
Gotcha.
So I don't. I'm sure you're this way, Co. I don't understand what the previous owner of this house was doing. There's so many questions I have about everything, from power.
It's very
to just
it's very
rooms.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
hate
we've very it's been a thing. It's been a thing.
Yeah.
So but it's been a good thing. Like sometimes the weirdness doesn't work out. Like for instance, the whole house is stone. Giant. It's got beautiful natural stone on the entire outside.
Yeah.
Tons and tons and tons of stone.
And what else does it look like?
We have to replace all of it.
That's fairly cheap. It's not expensive.
All of it. Yeah, like for instance, like one of the
Wait, but
the
why
fun-
do you hold on? Why do you
little
have to
things-
replace it? What's the
because the guy that built the house, like he did it he didn't do it himself, but he did it in like ways that weren't the best way to do it, and like the mortar isn't the best. So there's been a few instances of like some of the stones coming off and water getting behind it and causing damage and stuff like that. And
got it?
so we're having to basically take all the stone off and then redo everything behind it. And then when we do that, we're getting our windows replaced too. So it's like like all sorts of just very expensive, big things that are a lot of money up front, but at the same time, it's like again, this is our forever home.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hopefully be here for decades to come. Kids are gonna grow up here. They're only 5, 3, and 1 right now, so lots of time. Yeah. So anyway, TLDR. No, if somebody came up to me and said, "I'm going to sue you," I'd be like, "Oh shit, call a lawyer, please." I'm not to the point where I'm like, "F you."
Well, congrats on the re-signing.
Thank you.
One of the chosen few, as Jericho said. It's
Yeah.
very apt. Yeah.
Do we know anybody else that's in talks or has been re-signed?
Pokimane resigned.
personally.
Hassan resigned.
Who was the first name?
Pokimane?
Pokey.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know names apart from that off the top of my head.
Okay.
I would
Twitch-
assume
Twitch
probably XQC,
publicly-
but yeah.
Twitch publicly has been moving away from that. Like their
Yes.
actions indicate that they're becoming more platform focused and less creator focused.
Yeah.
So I think they are going to be keeping. They got to keep some of the big creators kind of leashed in a way. But it's going to become a rarer and rarer thing as time
Yeah.
goes on. Also, now that YouTube has dramatically slowed down in their acquisition, and they're very tumultuous in terms of their leadership and what direction their platform's going and things like that. I mean, they don't even have really like a face anymore. So it's and Facebook has just gone dead.
Yes, they have.
Facebook has died off. They were not only slowing down as it was, But now, I mean, what they just laid off 13,000 people. Like the idea of them at this point publicly throwing money at gamers to get them on gaming, that is a thing of the past. Facebook is essentially out of the race.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways. So,
You think Meta had something to do with that? Like Meta
Meta
had something
is-
to do with like Facebook kind
Oh,
of.
well,
You mean the metaverse?
Meta, Meta owns Facebook.
yeah.
So
they're the
Meta
parent
is
company.
Facebook. But do I think Meta had something to do with it? I absolutely do. Because the whole Meta rebranding, to put it bluntly, has been nothing but a shitstorm. It has been terrible for their image. Their whole reliance on VR is not taken off. The whole thing has just been an anchor, an albatross around their neck. So their transition to Meta and all the stuff that came with that absolutely has influenced them.
Yeah,
I mean, monetarily, if nothing else.
their values
I'm sure
dropped by
other things.
700 billion. So
Yeah.
But wait,
So
also
it's
to be to put it in perspective though, they also hired 40,000 employees during the last 2 years. So it's awful, right? And it definitely does not show that they're pumping more money into the company via human bodies and hiring people, but like they still netted 29,000 employees in 2 years, which is like insane to me. How you would even like come up with that much work to give people. Like, what are you doing over there?
that is true.
Dude, not only
point.
that, but dude, that's a damn good point. But the fact that they'd bring in that many people and then immediately drop a third of them, it's just like, how is this planning working? Like what failed so spectacularly or what didn't work out that they thought would? And to be able to do that, like their whole roadmap must be a disaster. Like at this point,
Yeah,
it's just,
Yeah.
it's a mess. It's a mess.
yeah, it's all a mess. I think,
And even then, to Jericho's point, I mean, they're still posting billions of dollars of revenue every year. It's not like they're going anywhere, but
This
it's
is
just
like
their
the,
focus is clearly,
It's where you get in that awkward advertiser position where in order to secure a more full budget for next year, you have to show that you spent the budget of the previous year. And sometimes that can lead towards, especially if your area of spending is like negligible and you're like, how the fuck do I spend twice as much money as I currently have right now? So you just spend money to spend it, which means you hire to hire, you get people to work on things just to work on it. And like, I'm sure we've all been in that situation where you hear about like the number of people that watched on some service and like the production company's stoked on it. I'm like, why are you stoked on that? Who cares? Like, who cares if 1,500 people watched Muted on Amazon Live? Like, why is that a discussion point? But somebody's like, we did it, guys. We did the team's job. And like 40 people got paid for that. And you're like, okay. But nobody, like, what's the point? I don't know.
Yeah. What's the point, Jericho? That's
What's
the
the
name of your new
point,
podcast.
man?
What's the point with Jericho?
what's the point with Jericho?
It's
It's a real nihilistic thing. We eat Arby's the entire time and it's just depressing.
Do you get is it the Jamocha shake? Is that what Arby's has? Have you had that
I've
before?
never consumed anything that weren't French fries from Arby's.
Really?
To be fair, their French fries are amazing. The curly ones,
The
They
curly
are
ones
good.
are pretty good.
They're actually great.
No beef and cheddar.
The
Not
beef-
even one beef and cheddar.
I don't.
I'm kidding.
Listen,
I don't know if it's good.
It's insane to suggest that I have ever looked at a beef and cheddar with my own two eyes, not commercial beef and cheddar, but a visual, like seen it in front of me and said that should go inside me. Like there's no way to make,
Really?
there's no way to make an aesthetically pleasing beef and cheddar from Arby's. It doesn't mean it's not good, right? But just like if you blended it up, it would, and you closed your eyes, taste the same. It would probably give you the same feeling. I can't deal with it. I have a problem with like a lot
And
of
someone
fast
needs
food.
to watch some fucking Ugly Delicious, dude. Like you.
I
need to
do. I
watch
love
some,
Ugly
like,
Delicious.
Ugly food, taste
No,
good,
no, no, no.
tasting like that's a Arby's.
I would
beef
say
and cheddar right
Tucker's
there.
a fucking foodie
good
for sure.
ugly, good ugly food.
Yes,
if you
you-
put down something like
it's a food
chicken
show.
heart,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
I got a food show.
yeah, it's just like you look at it and you're like, wow, that's ugly. Uni is disgusting. But like, I get why people like it. It's basically sea urchin. It's like ground up sea,
Right.
like it's
Salt.
right. Arby's is not a delicacy, no matter how much you want it to be. I can't convince myself like somebody's paying $4 an ounce on this and like it's worth me suffering through. Like,
But-
oh no.
But don't knock I think it's called the Jamocha shake. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
No,
Good.
dude. Like honestly though,
Pretty good.
as far as their shakes go,
Pretty good.
They're pretty top notch as far as fast food shakes. Like they're really good and they're huge. Like
Yes, they're also massive.
If my lady is experiencing a chocolate attack, which happens, I'd say like once every month. She really like I bring home every day. Like I go out, I'm like, here's a chocolate shake from Arby's. Give me that. I love you.
The old Arby's shake trick works every time. Yeah. Tucker, I think we should commend you on the fact that you woke up 5 minutes before the show and your hair looks like it does. Like I can't do that. I don't know if the other two folks could do that, but I can't. It's a mess.
Yeah, typically I can't do that either. That was a rare. I apologize. I thought I was being so slick. I was out till like 4 last night at a music function and got back and I'm like drunk and I'm like, I'm gonna set an alarm for 9:55. Like that seems like it'll give me plenty of time. Thinking that it's 11 that I need to be on here.
Show starts at 10.
It was 10.
Chat. Yep.
Yeah. So you call, my alarm goes off and I like, like the Undertaker, like out of my bed, like what, like cryo sleep. My hair looks the same it did when I went to bed, just laid my head down, passed out, woke up 5 hours later and like you call me and I'm like, so yeah, I'm here.
It was the lowest energy Tucker I've ever experienced. It was just I'm coming to the computer.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I sound like I smoked a pack of Marlboros, which I didn't, but it does sound like I did.
Yeah.
Well, I think like you can say a lot of things that are true, but negative about Jericho. But one thing that is positive that is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want people to think that I'm gonna like butter you up without being me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you can say a lot of negative things about Jericho, but one positive thing that you cannot deny is Jericho has good skin, and that honestly makes a huge difference. When you look tired, when you feel tired or you feel like whatever, like you have good skin. Like people don't even fucking know that shit. Like when I go out the night before, they know it before I even wake up.
Oh,
because
that's not true, man.
You don't have good skin? Is that what you're saying?
No, now I do through the power of growing older and I guess genetics. I had the worst back knee growing up, like so bad that I was ashamed to like taking my shirt off. And then now, I wear glasses because I have massive bags under my eyes that just look like this. So people will come into stream and they'll be like, dude, tough night at the bed, huh? Like you look like shit. Are you sleeping okay? Meanwhile, I had 10 hours of sleep. Feel great. And I'm like, I'm on, I'm feeling like I'm on. So I wear glasses because my designer bags,
Yeah.
They're not going away.
It works out. Do you even need? So are those prescription lenses then?
Yeah, they are. They're not fake. I need them. I just don't like. I
thought you were gonna like put your eye through the glasses, and there's not gonna be a lens or something.
My finger. Yeah, no.
Or put your finger through your glasses. Yeah.
Let's not get crazy.
Okay. All right. Well, now that that's all out of the way, hey, you want to talk about this DMZ thing? We had Shroud on last week. Was he at the event on Tuesday? Okay, he said he wasn't sure if he was going.
Yeah, he was. He was there. Myth. Lupo was there. Okay. Landmark.
The FPS folk.
Yeah, but notably Tarkov leading FPS players or people that had an efficient what's the word? A love for games like that. The Dark Zone for Division.
Yeah.
Just kind of like roguelike or roguelite FPS type scenarios.
Got it. Well, I'm gonna roll the footage here. Yeah, you weren't super favorable on
good pause
DMZ mode here. Talk us through it. What are we seeing? What is this mode? Should the Tarkov fans be excited? Should non Call of Duty fans be excited? What do you think?
First of all, can we explain what it is exactly?
That's also a great part.
Yeah.
Let's do
so, all right, who here loves Warzone?
Yeah.
Like, if you like Warzone, great. You already probably heard about this, and we can kind of skip some stuff. If you have no idea, Call of Duty has recently looked at Warzone, looked at battle royales, and said, this is what we want to do. So on expanding it, they've announced that, hey, for the next 2 years, we're going to be focused on this game's platform, the game modes around it. And in doing so, alongside Warzone, for free, we're going to start another kind of large scale PvP, PvE like world that you can jump in with your friends and play in. That's what we're watching. It's PvE, PvP, mostly PvE, like 40-minute instances games. And just like Tarkov, if you've ever watched it, you spawn in, you have objectives you can complete. Your main goal is to get money, loot stuff to sell and get money, sell stuff, get money, use that money to buy things that you can take out with you, and then go in the next time with better gear. If you played Hades, if you played any roguelite, they literally walked out and were like, this is not Tarkov. And I think I heard everybody go, what the fuck? Like, what is it then? Like, what are you trying to do? It is not, it lacks an identity. And if you're not somebody who cares about it in like a very top level, the idea is cool. The idea of Tarkov is cool. The idea of making individual people play as they want, whether it's tactical and you go in and you just loot some stuff to get some money for your next run, or you drop in on a high, value target area and you fight the raid boss of that area, which they have. There is a play style for everyone. However, who the hell is playing it? Like, if you are a person that is talented enough and enjoys fighting the Wave AI Legion like AI system that's going to be bullet spongy, very dangerous. Symphony's on my team. If he's one of the best Call of Duty Warzone players in the world, he's dying to AI like several times during this play session. They're not hard though. They're just spongy and kind of catch you off guard. So I'm like, who is the game appealing to? Who is the gameplay appealing to? Because it's not the hardcore players, and it's not people so casual that they want to play like a PvE game mode. So it lacks soul, identity, and I struggle to see how it will retain a large player base. But Call of Duty Blackout, where their first iteration of Battle Royale back in Black Ops days, kind of did suck at the time, but they built on it and they made Warzone. So I'm looking at this as a cool idea. I think that over time, if they really focus on it and they have a team developing this game mode as a whole, it could be good next year or 2 years or 3 years down the line, but it's not good right now.
So
that's fair, right?
Sure, yeah. To the Tarkov elements of it, are you in here just like looting straight up cash? Are you looting like, are there like rare key cards that then you can go and sell?
Do you see where I'm at? Yeah, you see where I'm at right now? There's a stronghold. You can kill the AI. They're on the map. You can kill the AI, get a key card, open the key card. What's in there? There's guys with like riot shields. There's guys with armor. They are playing actually kind of like people. The AI is very good.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's hard, but it's very good. That's a team that we're fighting right now.
Oh, nice.
So you can't fight players because these players, we talked to them, they were on a mission of their own. Their mission in game was to get to a certain point and blow up a safe, get the contents of the safe, take the safe contents to an extract and get out. That is their mission. But during that, they ran into us. We were just doing whatever we wanted to do. So there are ways, and they really heavily lean on you doing missions inside the game that call in kind of cool situations that are unique to you and your group, but affect everyone else. So escort a bomb via an armored truck across the map. Everyone sees you doing that. You have a high value loot target icon on your head. They want to kill you and get what's in there. Helicopter AI spawns in and chases you. But if you get out, you get a weapon blueprint that's only available in this game mode. So you can't get it in multiplayer or in Warzone. So they have the idea of what they can do to make this valuable. It's just not there. Like they just are missing any of the reason why I would care. Once we got out, everybody's like, okay, well, load us back in. I'm like, set your loadout. It's like 5 seconds of making your loadout. Tarkov is like 40 minutes playing Tetris, like caring about what you're doing. There's just too little variation in the like being broke and being rich in this game mode. There's not a lot of incentive for me to be fully kitted out because like I can kind of do that every game.
Does the like arcadiness of COD not work for this then?
No, it works great.
It works fine?
Did you play campaign? I know you played 2019 campaign and you liked it.
I have not played the new campaign, no.
Okay.
I want
to, but the campaign of Call of Duty is good. It's good. Like it is the best FPS campaign. It is. They are really doing a great job of pushing the feeling of realism. Look, this is not engaging gameplay to me or the world's best Warzone player. Why the fuck I'm like, we're just doing this because they're aimbody and they shoot you through smoke. But like, this is a group of like standard AI that was coming to reinforce after we broke into the stronghold. Look, I don't know. It's not the arcadey and the gameplay is definitely not a problem. The game feels good. The game is good. It's the best iteration of Call of Duty that they've made in a long time. Not going to make any of you people sitting here think like, oh, I should play Call of Duty now. Like, it's not going to do that. But it is free. So like, if you have 150 gigs on your hard drive in like 2 days to download,
is this a whole nother game mode to download, by the way? Or is it?
I do not quote me on that. I cannot tell you because it was like we were in Infinity Ward on their dev office computers playing this. So like they had a dev screen open. I don't know how big the game is. I was just joking. I have no idea.
It's close to
but
that. If you install all of it, it's over 100 gigs easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in the past. I don't know what the current iteration is.
No, they said they wanted to optimize it. Who cares? What does that even mean? They're not. It's going to be 100 gigs easy. Like
it's they're huge.
I don't want to get into the finer points. I don't want to get into the finer points of this, but did anyone else like find it kind of like weird immediately that when they said the name of it, it's like DMZ stands for demilitarized zone, right? So, and you're doing a shitload of fighting in this zone. That's weird. Like, I just out of curiosity, do they explain that or?
You know what's funny is I thought the same way. Or the same thing too, and I was gonna ask, and they didn't really take questions as much as I wanted to, and then I forgot. I was like, "Why? What the hell is the name?"
Is the premise that this is a DMZ and you're going in to do illegal activities in the DMZ kind of thing? Like it's behind enemy lines kind of feel? Yeah,
got it. Okay.
Yes, because this is the UI of like grabbing stuff. There's 5 slots. You're just trying to get the most expensive items in there to go to a shop to sell it. You can buy your loadout and stuff, or you can get like loadout drops, but you get contraband items that you take out with you that are weapons, and you can insure them. And when you insure them, and if you die, you bring them back out. Like it's spitting on Tarkov's image or whatever the fuck the saying is. You know what I mean? Like it's very similar. It's just like lacks the depth and the reasoning behind it.
Okay. I like the way Alchemaz in JP's chat said it. It should stand for the money zone.
The money zone.
The money zone is third person mode they put in just so you could see your skins and have like more value. They like it's the funniest thing to me because I hate third person, but they literally like, yeah, we just thought third person BR would be good because like it'll give you another way to see your skins, and I'm like, that's the first talking point. Like skins, cool, but like,
I mean, I hate third person. It is Activision that you're talking about, so.
$1 billion or whatever, $800 million in sales in 10 days, or $1 billion.
No, it was $1 billion in 10 days. They sold $1 billion on this. The fastest selling. If you thought COD was dead or dying, nope. It's the fastest it's ever sold.
Has anyone ever said that though? That COD is dead or dying?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like the most.
Why would they ever say that?
Hey, before Warzone, we were getting really close to everybody being like, "What the fuck are we doing? Is this Halo again?" Like we were getting so close to there being no reason to play this game. And that's and the multiplayer has been long since completely irrelevant in a lot of people's eyes. But it's shocking to me that this many people bought it. Warzone's free. We're not talking about just people playing Call of Duty. We're just talking about people spending money on Call of Duty is the most it's ever been.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah. Billion in 10 days, which is remarkable for sure. So I'm curious because I think you've like touched on the elements of it, but when you said the different missions of like certain people have to go in and get a safe, and then in that same mode, other people are doing, the grab a Jeep or escort a Jeep or something across, like that sounds cool. Where does it fall apart? Like, does it just fall apart because it's COD on top of all of that, or
it falls apart in that. Well, I think 2 things can be true. One, I can be in an environment that is not indicative of the type of environment that we're going to be in if you jump in and play this when it comes out whenever it comes out.
What do you mean
on the
by
16th,
that? Like randoms? You don't want to play with randoms?
Yeah, everybody in here is like the best player in the world. Like, like they flew in people like from Brazil and like Germany. Like I'm playing against the sweatiest humans. So nobody is and we're all trying to just get content for the stream, and we're trying to right. So everybody's playing cautious. Everybody's trying to make sure that they're not being dumb. Like you're not. Like you're being you're not going to be playing against people like this. And because of that, it's hard for me to sit here and be like, yo, gameplay falls apart because we didn't get engaged in when we did something, or we got literally hunted down by Huskers and the top 100 players. Like that wasn't fun for me. We tried to escape with high value loot, but like you're getting hunted by the best players in the world. We're not going to make it out. So I think it falls apart in that it lacks a reason for you to do anything because the ultimate end goal is so shallow. Get weapons in Call of Duty that you get to use all the time in Warzone and multiplayer.
Okay.
And I think for Tarkov, we're going to the extract here. For Tarkov, like I need to get money so I can use this weapon one time. Like sometimes you spend an entire week to one run, and I get to shoot my gun once, and I'm like, I can't believe I didn't even get to shoot the gun, right? And I've not gotten to use that, or it's so. But Call of Duty they don't have that problem. So again, what's the end goal? Why are we doing this? If you can't answer that, because Warzone is I want to be the best, I want to win and win and win and win and kill more people. That's not the point of this. The point is to do things. But what is the point of doing things if there's no benefit? Unless you're grinding for camos or you're drunk or lazy and bad at Warzone, there's no point to play this right now.
Both?
Yeah, maybe
I love
Yeah.
how Tarkov makes Jericho and really anyone who would be talking about this kind of sound like the old timer with this kind of thing.
Yes,
Back in Tarkov, when we got our gun, we were happy even if we didn't get to use it. We'd get shot in the head and drop it. We loved it.
I don't even like that. I'm just saying that like that's part of the reason why Tarkov works. But I was hoping sincerely that if we looked at Tarkov as Dota, or if we looked at Tarkov as Counter-Strike, that DMZ would be League or Valorant. It would just take it, rub the corners off it, make it squeaky clean and accessible for free. Boom. But they didn't. They just kind of like cut it in half and then cut it in half. And then they're like, we weren't trying to compete. This is the quarter that we're giving you. And you're like, okay. So, oh no, we were being silly.
Like it.
You're just riding on
we
the
were
side
being
of the plane,
silly. You don't have to ride on the side. This is another thing. You can extract with as many people as possible that can fit on here. And there's proximity chat.
Oh, nice.
I was just like, I want to see what it's like if you hang on here. They're like, yeah, if you want to sneak up and hang on the side, you can get out without fighting. I'm like, nobody's going to do that, dude. Like, nobody's going to just, I'm not going to work together with the 8-year-old who's racist screaming at me in Call of Duty. Like, I just want to get out of the game. So, yeah.
I like that you're hanging onto the side of that plane with no handhold like Spider-Man.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's like lick your palms like, that's good enough. I got it. We're good.
I didn't even notice that. You're totally right. That looks absolutely ridiculous. But it works, I guess. So, okay. Because now I was kind of like into it when he introduced the different missions.
You should play it.
Yeah,
if
the idea is that the incentivization that they have for people that play Call of Duty to play this is to get fucking race card stripes on a gun or whatever, right? Then I don't care, because I don't care about COD in that way.
Exactly. There's no I guess you can point to any game and say what's the point, whether it's Halo or Call of Duty, right? And you can say what's the point to rank up, etc. But when you talk extensively about a gameplay loop that you're trying to create that is both inside and outside, you cannot have a gameplay loop where I care about the stuff that is inside the game if you don't give me a reason to care about keeping it out of the game. And my little stash with a bunch of the guns that I get to use every day at any point, and like,
well, I guess that's a question. Can you just bring any gun in here, and it does it cost you money? How does that work?
Yeah, we also don't know the value of $1,000 in the game because we only played 3 games. So, if you went to a store and bought the most expensive gun that has full, whatever you made, it's like $33,000 in game. Yeah. Most of the high value loot that you can pick up, like the legendary loot, is like $5,000, and the stuff around here you'll see is like $150, $250, $150. So each session, if you run to the store and you sell a bunch of stuff, you could probably get like 15 grand, which I'm like 15 grand to basically 2 games, and I'm fully kitted.
Yeah.
To the teeth. Okay. I don't know.
Do you think that was maybe a bad demo in the sense that you just had as much money as you wanted to did you have as much money to
we
get
didn't have as much money. No, we didn't.
Okay.
I'm saying that seemed like you have to work on an economy. People who've played FIFA know that the economy in FIFA coin and cards is almost as important as literally playing the game. right? Like in
Right.
Tarkov, understanding the trader economy is that important. There is no economy in Call of Duty. Infinite
Gotcha,
money,
okay.
infinite thing. There's not like it doesn't matter. It's just like there's no scarcity value or any like value placed on it. And so like I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, you play because it's fun. Great. If I struggle to understand if you don't have people engaging in the gameplay loop system that
You have to
makes
have a
things
goal.
fun,
Yeah.
then yeah, what fun are you looking for? Because then you're just playing you're playing Far Cry quickly. Like go cap this point, now leave. Like it's like
Right.
I don't know.
Right. This comes out this week. When is this
This comes out this week.
Okay.
I do want to say one thing because I didn't mention it actually in my video either. They have a new new system for linking you up with randoms that I think is interesting.
What's that?
You're playing Battle Royale and you have two people and you want to fill. You want a third group member. You can set, I want somebody playing casually, somebody playing competitively, somebody English, somebody with voice chat, somebody without voice chat, and you can queue and it will queue with people, match you with those. So I think that's a cool little, like it's so simple, but like so nice to have a little bit of choice that you can add to that. So if you're Spanish speaking and you want to only do like Spanish, you flip that switch and you're good to go.
That's cool.
Can you like ask trivia questions to like determine age of people and those things? Like if you put what is that? What is the save symbol in most like document programs? What does that represent? And if you can tell me what that is, you can be on my team because you're old enough to know.
Because you wanna use that to keep people out, but then then we have somebody using that. And it's like finally they don't know what a floppy disk is. I'm in. Like ooh,
it's true. Good point. Huh? Is that going to be? Is the what are they calling that? The like
I don't know
matchmaking filter or something?
It's like teammate filter, and it's like an option right next to your party and start game. And
so
I
what
asked,
happens
like,
if you don't fit like any of like does
what do you mean?
Does it make you choose what you are so that you get put? Like I wonder how that works.
Oh no. Don't know because I didn't use it because the system that we used was bare bones. So
yeah. I guess that only works too when you have like as many people as you have playing COD, right? Because if you have a smaller player base, then you can't segment that community that much. But how many people does this have? Millions upon millions upon millions. So it works in that regard. Cool. Are you going to be playing this at launch at least just for the like wow factor on stream? Or are you skipping it completely?
No, I'll play Warzone. Like literally, like
is that where everyone's going to go? You think the new Warzone?
Yes. You gotta. Who's the type of person that wants to watch Call of Duty for 8 hours a day? They certainly don't want to watch me beam
absolute
bots. They want to see
heathens,
me.
That's who.
Yeah, just scuff jumping and whatever, and it's like, But like who? You know what? The funny thing is, I will end up playing this game at least once or this game mode once or twice because I'm such a simp for like Call of Duty. Like I can't like criticize it and then not play it. It's just I will play it.
Well, that's the gamer way. You criticize things you love the most. Do things carry over into this at all? In terms,
everything is linked. Multiplayer, Warzone, DMZ. Anything that you can play in multiplayer or anything you can do to level up your gun carries over. So your ability to put attachments on your gun in DMZ and then get that from our loadout is directly tied to if you're using it in DMZ or in Warzone or in whatever. So that's one cool progression thing. It's not like unlock the AK for the 5th time. It's like you did it at any point. Cool. That's cool.
Do you think people use this to become like the rank up, the gun rank up mode? Or is it not? Are you not getting that many kills?
No, you're going to play Invasion and play the bots and get 90 kills a game, like, because you're playing Battlefield,
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. What day does this launch, just so people are, if people are wanting to jump into it? The
Wednesday,
16th?
I think. Warzone and this, I believe, launch at the same time on Wednesday.
Okay. Got it. So that'll be what takes over Twitch then for that day. It's most likely Warzone.
Yeah.
All the FPS folk will be streaming that. So cool. That's Call of Duty DMZ mode. Let's do a little bit of news. We'll save God of War. It's going to be a weird discussion in the sense of how we talk about it, but we'll save that for the second half. Diving into the news here. We talked about already, Modern Warfare 2 sold 1 billion in 10 days. It's the fastest in franchise history. Tucker kind of said, you said it's the best campaign, right? How's the multiplayer? Is the multiplayer, where would you rank that, I guess, in the grand scheme of things?
I liked 2019, and I thought it was the groundwork to make this game. It is the best Call of Duty since probably the ones that everybody thinks about as their favorites, like that era of the Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2.
Nice.
But it is the best current modern Call of Duty by a long shot.
Okay, cool. I need to play the single player. I've heard nothing but good things. Apart from the driving, I've heard the driving section with the mines on the road is awful.
Stupid.
I've heard that's really bad.
It loops. I did it. I literally was playing on I just Call of Duty is so silly because the road loops in a chase scene. So I'm like, wait, we've passed this place, and then I was like, wait a minute, this completely takes me out because you're just avoiding mines. It's a short road. The campaign's short, but yeah, you should play it.
Yeah, I need to. Co in the world of In Exile, they are currently hiring for a new project based on quote a very ambitious new license and which it aims quote to renew the RPG genre. Any idea what this is? What have you talked about this? What is In Exile doing?
No idea. Well, we've known that In Exile has been working on something big for a while. Like they've been very quiet. They basically released Wasteland 3, which was huge and critically acclaimed and did really well. And then, the Microsoft purchase was shortly before that. So we know that they have been cooking something up big for a while, and we still don't know any details. So before this announcement, we knew something big was coming. And I mean, it's just more of that, essentially. They're kind of like a little hype machine right now, since there's a lot of really big things coming from them, but nobody has any idea what.
I saw there was I can't
what
find
was the
go ahead,
the term they used, JP? Ambitious or
now I've closed out of it. Ambitious new license that aims to renew the RPG genre.
That's the word
what
renew
that conjures up.
Is really interesting to use. Like, what do they mean renew the RPG genre? Like that, that was one word that really stuck out.
I don't know. I mean, it's exciting. It's a provocative.
It sounds cool. It's a very provocative word for sure. Absolutely, 100%.
I am failing to find the story, but I remember reading it. Apparently, they did like the in-house presentation where all the different teams show the bigwigs at Xbox and Microsoft what they're working on. And a lot of people said that In Exile was the showstopper. And like whatever they showed internally, everyone is like, holy shit, this is like, let's talk about that more. Let's see that more.
Exciting.
And that's also exciting because I don't know what they could be doing. Right? Like they've done so much already in the RPG world that to move it forward, I don't know.
Yeah, a couple people from your chat, JP, said Arcanum, and that would be pretty. Like I didn't know. Like obviously, I missed that whole genre of computer games, not having one, and that's why like CD-ROM is so much fun. But
for the record, Arcanum
when I played Arcanum for the little amount of time that I did, like everybody was like, "Oh my god, this game! Oh fuck!" They like, got all hot and bothered about just watching it. Like, "Oh my god, I played this with my uncle. I played this when I was a kid." All that kind of shit. There's a lot of love for Arcanum, so I could definitely see that being a contender.
Well, the wording too, IP and license are two different things, right? Because IP would mean that they are doing either something new or something that they've created, I would think. License means that it's someone else's IP. Potentially, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So,
it's interesting because
I don't know what that is.
Any Microsoft company licensing an IP, it's like there's so much under that umbrella. They obviously have to license it from another company under Microsoft. So where are they licensing it from? Also leads to the question, like, why? Because I mean, Microsoft has like 1 billion IPs right now. What would they be licensing outside of itself? It's wild.
I don't know. It's exciting. I also wonder, I mean, this was from a hiring post, so it's not necessarily marketing. It's turned into marketing for the company. But I wonder if this is something that we see any inkling of at the Game Awards this year. We're only about 30 days, 25 days from that.
That'd be interesting.
Be awesome. Yeah, I just don't know. But
what is that? December 8th? Is that right?
Yes, Thursday, December 8th, I think is the date on that. Yeah. Tucker, are you going? Did you go last year?
No, I'm going to stream it and make money like everybody else.
All right,
the Game Awards
we'll do the co-stream thing. You're welcome to join us.
Yeah. I would love to do. I would love to jump in with you guys if you will have me. But I've been a couple times. Gamer Awards like it's not for you. It's for the people at home. So like you just sit there in silence for like 90% of it, and you're just like, why did I? Yeah, no offense, Jeff. The parties are great, and I appreciate you doing it. But
You
like,
still going to the parties? Are you gonna end the stream? Okay, you're gonna go to the parties.
not to dox myself. I walk to the parties from my place. It's incredible. It's
Ooh,
great. You're just like,
okay.
just get to go over there and
fancy. Works out.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see something from In Exile then for that. Vermintide 2 has announced that they have crossed over 10 million new players. The reason I bring this up is because Darktide's coming out. I didn't play the beta. Did you guys play the beta? How was that? Was it good? Did you like it?
It's cool.
Is
it? Feels great. Oh yeah, feels good. I'm incredibly excited. You can play in 4 days.
I know it comes. It's like, what are they calling that? Early access, early beta,
early give us money access. I don't know, but it's
okay.
It's really good. It feels good. It looks good. It plays well. Like the
vibe.
beta was. It worked pretty dang well the whole time. Yeah, I am very excited for the Darktide release. It's looking good.
This is not Call of Duty DMZ mode. This is Darktide.
Yeah.
What? Who are you playing here? Are you playing the big guy?
I tried 3 different people, so I'm not quite sure which one I'm playing here. There's like
oh, your name is Psycho. Did someone already have that or something?
That's
good name.
Oh, Psycho. Yeah, it worked out well. Yeah. I think this was the Zealot.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, could have been. Psyker. This is the Psyker. So this is the one that kind of has like it's not really a mage, but it has like some magey abilities. There's a sharpshooter. There's this guy, there's a zealot, and then there's like a big hulking brute type character. And then inside of those, there's some variants as well that you can do. The beta was very limited in terms of like you can only use 1 skill from each one, but apparently each class is going to have like a sub kind of class dealy with its own more specialized features and everything like that. A lot of melee. The melee felt really good. The levels were super cool, and you can see it's a very pretty game. Like you're like. Level design and stuff mixed with how good it all looked was very immersive. It was very fun. So yeah, overall it was great, dude. Oh, it's chaos. It's all about fighting chaos. So there's lots of like weird, goopy, biological yuckiness, which is always fun. There's a big eyeball. Slice that up.
Let me ask you this: if I don't know how I feel about Vermintide. It's not that if I wasn't that into the gameplay of Vermintide, will this change my feeling? Like, is this
most likely not?
Okay.
It is still a Left 4 Dead-y style mission-based game where you go into the game with your 4 people, usually work from A to B to C. Along the way, you have like, horde style events, you have get all the switch events, carry this to their events, all sorts of stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is generally you versus hordes and hordes of enemies, special enemies every so often, and then maybe a boss.
Is it all melee, or do you
no,
have
no,
guns?
it's melee and guns. Okay. Absolutely.
Maybe the guns might be the trick.
There's a sharpshooter class, but I've heard they will fall back on their melee every so often, just less of it.
Got it. Okay. Tucker, you have
maybe there's specializations where that don't use melee.
Maybe so.
What I got plans for this?
Do you have plans for this? Yeah, is this on your radar at all?
No.
It comes out one day after your Call of Duty stuff, so I would think not.
I mean, so Warhammer is such an interesting thing because I get the fandom behind it, especially like the physical collections and stuff. But like when you said Left 4 Dead, I'm like, I was trying to piece together like, what does this remind me of? It's like Left 4 Dead. It's like Left 4 Dead, but not kind of lacks the reasons why I like Left 4 Dead. So I don't know. It looks cool. It looks very pretty.
Yeah.
I just have a problem with like wave-based missions as we just discussed.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. Zeke, you got to jump in. Does it have enough melee for you to feel? I think in the past you said you don't feel useful unless you have the right type of class that you can play.
Yes, very true. And melee is definitely my kind of class. It honestly just depends on like who else I'd be playing with.
Right.
Like just like if I'm invited, I'll be there.
Yeah.
But I don't feel strongly enough about this to put in the legwork to get a group going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
I would like I would like to be asked, but I don't want to, organize anything personally.
Yeah, makes sense. There's a little bit of the character. God, that guy's huge. Is that an ogre or a troll or some?
They're all like ex-prisoners. So
Okay.
they're I'm not sure if it's like a troll or ogre race kind of thing, but they're just giant modified things. Yeah.
Got it.
Ogrins is what they're called. Ogrins.
Oh,
There you go.
oh, yeah. I don't want to upset the fandom. Well,
Watch yourself.
yeah, yeah. I'll probably at least look at it. It seems like it's pretty enough, like graphically, that I at least want to see it running on like a machine in front of me, just for that.
It's on Game Pass.
Is it? I don't know.
I'm asking.
Oh,
I want to say it might be, but Chad will confirm it.
yeah, Chattel. We'll wait
Yeah,
for
it
the
is.
update.
Yeah.
It will be. I don't know if it'll be the 17th this week though. You might have to wait. Until full
Mark.
release.
Then all criticism is invalid, dude. If it's free, it's free. You know, I have such a hard time like that. This game and a lot of games that I play, I'm like, well, it's free, so I guess my criticisms are kind of like, cool, like thanks, I guess, for making it.
Yeah, yeah. Because Game Pass is a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Hell of a drug.
Yeah, for sure. We mentioned the Game Awards. The nominees will be revealed tomorrow morning at noon Eastern. Jeff Keighley tweeted out. I put out a promo video about all of that. It's going to be an interesting year. We'll talk God of War in the second half of the show, but I'm sure that'll be in the conversation. I think I've already seen it in my chat. I don't know if you guys have.
Maybe
God of War, Elden Ring.
Honorable mention of Elden Ring.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty big. And then Horizon, I think, is a factor in all of that as well for some people. So it'll be an interesting conversation to say
About
the
Grounded.
least. Sure.
Hell yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
No.
For some people,
I think so.
for
Have you
some
played
people,
I have. It's fun.
I think that'll be a conversation.
Yeah, this was a great year for gaming because we delayed all the good games from last 2 years, and we were like, hey.
And some even got pushed to next year as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I can't even say this with a straight face. Sonic Frontiers came out this week. We'll talk about that now or maybe after I have some things to say about that. I know you did a sponsored stream for it. Zeke and Jericho, did you guys check it out?
No.
Okay. It's an interesting thing. But the reason I bring it up is the director, Morio Kishimoto, put out a statement saying that he is hoping that it puts the Sonic team at the top of the gaming industry.
Can't you run over cops as Sonic in the game?
I didn't get that far. Maybe.
Okay. That's what somebody made a joke about running over cops as Sonic. and I was like, damn, they're really going all out. I've seen no gameplay, but I was like, all right, damn, Sonic's going crazy.
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
I didn't get that far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you, did you play more than an hour? I don't know how long your sponsored
Couple hours.
was. Okay.
A couple hours.
Yeah.
No, it must be end game.
Let's talk about it. What'd you think, Co? How'd you like Sonic Frontiers?
Things I liked. The
That's
running
never
around
good
gameplay.
when you start off with things I did like.
Things I did like. The gameplay was pretty fun. I mean, I like the running around. It was very basic, but I kind of like how it went from like the open zone kind of thing, and then you kind of unlock the classic levels. Then you kind of had like a classic level experience, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Outside of that, the story was very thin. There really wasn't a lot going on at all in like the story and stuff, and the voice acting was a little off-putting. The world was very strange.
Yeah,
like just having like the just the stuff everywhere that's so clearly crafted for Sonic. It's just kind of a little weird, and I like the little puzzle things. There were like a huge amount of variety with those, which was kind of cool. But it seemed like the whole game was basically just doing the little puzzle things, and then like the combat was very just smash X a bunch of times or hold a button to win. I don't know. It didn't really grab me. It didn't really grab me when I played. Like I kind of was hoping that I'd like it a little bit more and put some time into it, but it didn't really grab me. It was okay.
I'll replace
played pretty well, but it was okay.
I'll replace a lot of the kinder words that Co used there with this is the best 3 out of 5 game I've played.
Best 3 out of 5 game.
What does that even mean? Can
It means that there's so many things in this game that are just fucking weird.
Why does it look like this?
Right? Yeah, that's a good
what
question.
platform is
It's
this
trying
on?
to be. It's trying to be Mario.
Switch?
I think it's on Switch. I think it is Switch port.
Odyssey, Mario Odyssey, right? They're trying to put a cartoon character in like a realistic environment.
Kind
They
of.
did that in Odyssey, right?
It's more Breath of the Wildy in terms of how
Okay,
their open
okay.
world is handled, but there's no like weapons, so it's not like the open. It's an open world Sonic game that has classic Sonic structure within that. I guess if you want like the classic Sonic levels, you can. There are those, but we'll get to the open world.
Is that logo, or is that because you're sponsored?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like,
no,
I love
not
how
in
my
the game.
cutscene has a logo splash.
No, it's not. That's not in the game.
Okay.
It's just they have this. Let me get to the gameplay here.
By the way, I just want to get back to just real quick that I think they should, if they still make hard copies of this, I think on the box it should say, quote, "I like the running around," end quote, Go Carnage. Because that shit
Look,
fucking
he's not
killed
wrong.
me, brought a tear to my eyes. Like, I like the running around. It's like,
dude, the
that
sense
is-
of speed is
that's
great
the
in this
whole
game.
thing.
I thought
It's
the sense
Sonic,
of speed is
dude.
fantastic.
Yeah, I that was like the fun part for me in a lot of ways. Was just like running around and chilling.
Yeah.
You know, just like exploring the world and doing that whole thing.
Wait.
Yeah.
Was this the Sonic game that everybody saw the open world like renders and we're like,
Yes.
wow, this looks empty, and they're like, no, it's beta, and now it looks like this anyways.
Yes,
Yep.
it's that game.
Ooh.
It's that game.
All right, cool.
It's just a weird game. Like there's the story, like Ko said, it's. Did you meet Big the Cat, Ko? Did you find?
I think so.
He's the fishing guy. So if you fished, you met Big the Cat. There's fishing in this game.
Yes. Oh, yes. I did meet him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't.
Yep.
I hope that voice actor didn't get paid. Like, it is like if I did the voice acting, and it was just like, hey guys, time to fish. And I'm not making that up or embellishing it. He did a better version of what I just did. Like it's like they told the voice actors to add a little Barney into their work. And that's where they went with it. Because it all sounds like that. It doesn't change at all. It's an interesting thing. But that's also the best part of it, because it is so bad that you're like, maybe this is nice.
Full disclosure. Got to remember there's a director behind all of that. That like, you know,
Yeah, you're
as the
probably
director of
right.
the character. There's a very good chance that
Yeah, he was just
he
like,
asked the guy to
you're
read
killing it. You're doing great. Give me more Barney.
going.
We need more Barney right now.
Can you give me can you give me a little Eeyore in there too? Thanks. Good.
Yes.
You sound a little too awake on that take.
Yeah.
Can you take some NyQuil, like extra strength NyQuil?
Yeah.
Do it again. Give me that.
Yeah, and he also says like, Sonic, you can use my rod if you want to, because you have to fish. You're just like, Big, you're so fucking stupid. This is the stupidest thing. So the fishing's all right. It's pretty basic, but the voice acting's great. I really enjoyed it. I thought it also doesn't change from that, from the characters that I was experiencing.
Looking at this, it just doesn't look like the interactable items matches the environment. And someone in chat said,
very weird.
I think perfectly, it looks like a Sonic asset flip. It looks like you took a different game and put all the Sonic elements in it. Like,
Yes.
you know, you took like
Why did
an
you skip the
island from
engaging
Elden
puzzle?
Ring and put Sonic there.
That puzzle is literally circle around this thing and then it'll turn. That's all it is.
I know.
I'm not
like,
here
ooh.
obviously. I'm trying to show what Zeke was just talking about, because when you enter into new areas, there's just random structures in the sky that are there to like grind the rail and collect coins. And it's exactly what it's saying. It's very strange and off-putting that it exists. But then you have like the classic levels like this.
They put Sonic in Death Stranding and renamed him Fastman.
Yeah. Also, I'm sure this wasn't
Speedman.
intended, but there's something that I couldn't let go. And Zeke, I think you'll appreciate this. You collect things called Coco the entire time, and you're playing a guy that's really fast, and he constantly talks about, I got to find the Coco and go collect the Coco. And that was just fun to experience the entire time. Is there's just little people kind of run around and collect cocoa, then you go fast after that. Thought that was funny. I enjoyed that aspect of it. It's great.
Was he constantly asking where the after party was?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't get that far.
What are you guys doing after this? You guys, are we keeping this going? We're gonna keep this going, right? Because I'm ready. Let's keep this going, dude. Let's party doesn't have
the
to
final
end.
level
Let's go.
is just you in somebody's random kitchen, and it's like the sun's coming up. That's just like, wow, this is the dark version of Sonic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing,
And you're like doing really bad magic tricks. Like, no, wait, I'll get it. Hold on, watch this. That might have been a little too specific to be a lie, but you know what I mean.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Cole, did you get to the first boss, like the proper boss? Did you finish the first island? You wouldn't. I think you would know. Okay. The first boss, after you collect the structure of the game is there's 5 islands. Each island you collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds. When you collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds, you then can turn into Supersonic, which is literally you go Super Saiyan. You can fly and whatnot. So the first boss that you fight, and I don't know if this is for every boss. I don't know if it's like they have unique song. It has like, I think it's a famous metal band or a famous singer, but it's got like very hardcore metal with incredible vocals playing as you fight this boss. And it's like the biggest, I kind of want to pull up footage of it just so you can experience, but it might be DMCA. It's like the biggest clash of what's happening on screen and what you're hearing, because you're like a Super Saiyan Sonic fighting a giant Shadow the Colossus like creature with kind of interesting combat, except you can't really die. It's time limit based. You don't actually take damage. You just fail because it's time based. And then there's like EDM metal music just at the 11th
about
volume.
EDM metal. Is it good music? Is it like
It's it's all right. It's not bad. It's just like, why is this happening? Like, why does this exist? Is the question I kept asking. I'll try to find it in my VOD. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'll continue talking about it, but the whole game, like, that's a great way to just sum up that game. Is strange. Yeah, I'm kind of glad. I want to go back and watch Co's sponsored stream of it just to see like how many what the fuck moments he had on his face, followed by check out Sonic Frontiers available now on Xbox Series X, etc.
I mean, I talked a few times about how the world felt very contrived. That it was weird seeing just all the like random, grind rails everywhere and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
talked a few times about the story being a little bit weird, but I mean, I was just running around getting coins, man, or rings, whatever. Like it was pretty. I don't want to say it was boring because the gameplay was pretty fun, but it felt very kind of like standard. It's kind of weird. I did do like all the fishing I could. The fishing was pulled up some weird stuff from that lake, man. The first thing, okay, so there's this little lake, and the first thing I pick up, it's like, congrats, you've caught a marlin, and he holds up this like 9-foot long fish that's in salt water. So I don't like. It was very strange.
Did you get a treasure chest as well?
I got a few of those, all sorts of stuff. So, but yeah, I don't know. It just felt very. I mean, here's the thing. Some people are saying the Sonic game's amazing. Some people are loving it.
I had a great time playing it. I was also shitting on it at the same time.
Yeah,
on Steam, I looked it up. Like, people said it, and I looked it up, and it has 5,400 reviews, 95% positive.
Yeah, like that's why I said it's the best 3 out of 5 game, because the entire time I'm like, why does but I kept playing for like 5 or 6 hours, and had
you played it for like 6 hours?
Yeah, I played it for 6 hours, not sponsored. Like, I couldn't stop playing because I wanted to see more absurdity unfold in front of me. Is this the... Oh, that's the second area. Here's the boss fight. Let's see if I can... oh, yeah, this is how you... when you get 400 coins, you get a speed boost. and you can hold down Y and draw circles, and it'll just constantly spawn rings until you get 400 coins.
I don't get this part at all. I thought it was bugged. Like I don't even.
I think it's because it doesn't.
Did you know about the Ouroboros thing, by the way?
What's that?
Okay, so if you hold down that Y button and you draw an infinity symbol,
Yeah.
then it maxes out your energy permanently for like a set amount of time. So you can't lose energy for a set amount of time.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Got a little secret, little Sonic secret there for you. Yeah. Enjoy that one.
I know that if you draw a penis, it also gives you rings and celebrates the game. Like it celebrates the fact that you you did that. Like the developers knew that you were going to do that.
Now,
gives you a little
hold
bit
on
extra.
a Do you have to draw the hair on the balls?
No, and there's two.
I did.
Zeke, you could do
I'm asking
this.
the important questions.
You could do this like it's a side profile or a top-down view, and both work. It's multifaceted in what you can draw.
Nice.
I don't know how I'm going to pipe this to you guys easily in terms of.
Are you going to show us you drawing a penis?
No, that would be funny, but I'm trying to think how I can allow you guys to hear the music. I don't know if I can do that easily off the top of my head, so I don't think I'm going to. But I'll just link it in the chat.
Just play it and then just lip sync, or just sing it.
I
hear your voice.
I can't belt out the voice of this song. She's very talented in what she does. But yeah, apart from that, the actual music in the game, when you do the levels, like the non-open world levels, it's very good. They're what you come to expect from Sonic games, which Sonic fans generally expect good like EDM-ish style songs from that. And they're also evocative of like Green Hill Zone in terms of the older levels and all that.
Is it DMCA like okay?
I don't know. I don't think.
Okay.
Co, you posted these VODs on YouTube. Did you get claimed at all? Did you see if you did?
I don't. I'd have to look into it.
Okay.
I'd have to look into it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Here's Supersonic.
That one guy in a chat is saying it's okay, or it's safe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
thanks, one guy.
All right, one guy.
Yeah.
Got it.
Appreciate you.
So yeah, this I saw this morning that this game's available for $40 already at Walmart, and that seems like the perfect price for this game. Maybe a little bit lower too, if you're wanting to dive into the Sonics, because Zeke was correct in saying on Steam this is incredibly favored. Like people are losing their shit over this. I think review wise it was like pretty mid, like 60-70% scores, 6 or 7 scores, but yeah. There's a lot of shit, a lot of fun shit. Like this moment's great.
You could add another sentence to Co's review.
What's that?
I like the running around. Giganto is big.
Yes. Cool. That's Sonic Frontiers. A very weird game. Watch some footage of it if you're still on the fence about it. What else is there news-wise here before we wrap up? Oh, Remedy announced that they are in agreement with 505 Games to co-develop and co-publish Control 2, a sequel to Control.
That'll be awesome.
God, very excited for that. Yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff. First one was fantastic. I thought it was already assumed that they were making that, but now that it's like official, that's even better.
They're doing Alan Wake 2 as well. So, right?
Is that 505 that's doing that, or is that Remedy? Or sorry, Remedy's making that, but 505's publishing it, right?
Maybe.
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Chat's
developed by Remedy, published by Epic.
Oh, okay. Well, someone's making it, and it's getting developed.
Someone's doing something with it. There we go.
Yeah. Then the last bit of news.
I love that universe, man.
It is fantastic.
I took a long time for me to dive into it because I didn't play Alan Wake when it first came out. But Control, like I fucking love Control. I think that was our game of the year cohesively.
I think so.
That year. Like it's a fantastic game, and it opened the door to the SCP shit for me. Like I was completely unaware of this whole like subculture, and one like Control is not directly related, but it is like an offshoot of that. the secure, contain, protect, world, and diving into that and seeing some of the games that were made based on that kind of that universe and that shit. It's awesome, and I can't wait for more shit. Control 2 sounds like I'm on Alan Wake 2. I'm on Control 2 like immediately when they come out. Fantastic game.
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. Mick Gordon put out a full statement about a bunch of shit. And when we say full statement, let me just scroll down here to the table of contents that exists. You can see the scroll bar. These aren't from comments on the article. That's the full statement. There's a lot going on here. He definitely had a lawyer help him in this whole thing, without question, because of some of the things that he's stating in here are
Lord.
pretty big deal. Yeah.
Yep.
A quick summary of the facts.
The table of discontent.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
I'll get my coat.
So I'll kind of, there's a lot going on. I'll skim through this and pull out some of the bigger points. He says, I haven't been paid for over half of Doom Eternal's music. The game includes more than double the music I was contracted to produce. Rejects, mock-ups, demos, many of which were never meant for public release. I created this music as part of the development process and shared it with id Software in good faith, but id Software used the music in the game, marketing, and soundtrack, and still refuses to pay me for it. He goes on to say the Doom Eternal OST was a mess. It was announced with my name attached and made available for pre-order before I was contracted to produce it. Despite my alarm and constant appeals, Marty, who is I forget his title, higher up at id. Before Marty refused to do anything about the situation, leading to a 9-month delay before I could start work. After 7 months of inaction, I reported my concerns to Bethesda. Bethesda and I negotiated the Doom Eternal OST directly without Marty's involvement. I received the contract on March 18th, 2020, 48 hours before Doom Eternal was released. The delay was announced a week earlier before I was under contract. The deadline was April 16th, 29 days later, after the contract stipulated id Software had completed creative control and would acquire access to all my source material. Marty withheld crucial details from me until 13 days before my deadline, such as potential legal trouble they faced for taking pre-orders before it was under contract, details about their internally produced OST, which was an alternative edited from my in-game score, which they'd worked on for at least 6 months without my knowledge or involvement. I didn't approve the release. There is the OST release itself. He goes on to say it's their poor quality release, which immediately drew criticism. Constantly talks about how Marty personally asked for assistance in addressing the situation, and that he made himself entirely available to Marty and committed to satisfying disappointed customers with a better OST. Marty made it clear that he wanted me involved, saying he wanted a positive outcome had no ill intentions and wanted to resolve the issue professionally. He offered to draft a joint statement addressing the situation, announcing plans to move forward. He requested I hold off on making further public comments until we could address the public together. Marty told me to expect the draft within hours, but it never arrived. Instead, days later, he published a 2,500 plus word open letter on a fan-run Reddit that singled me out as the sole cause behind the botched OST.
And that was the big message that everyone saw. That was,
that was what I heard.
That everyone saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
The post attracted thousands of comments and news articles and severely damaged my personal and professional reputation. Worst of all, he did it behind my back whilst leading me on with a bullshit story about working together on a professional solution to the problem. His statement was full of lies, disinformation, and innuendo, and when challenged, his company offered me a 6-figure sum to shut up about it. When I tried time and time again amid a torrent of abuse, harassment, and threats to resolve the matter more amicably, he constantly refused, worried how addressing the Reddit post would damage his own reputation instead. As far as I'm concerned, truth and honesty are more important. Marty's words damaged my character and attacked my reputation. I have afforded him ample opportunity to address this issue, but his refusal to do so has left me with no option other than to issue this statement. And that's like not that's 5 paragraphs of I don't know how many words this was. There's a giant table of it goes forever. It's very documented. There was 1,000% legal hands involved in all of this. It seems like a very bad deal and a mess. To say the least.
Which is really, really unfortunate because like Mick has always made great music. He's always seemed like a good guy. He was very strangely quiet when that initial letter came out, and then it took like literal years for him to compile all this, get it together, bring receipts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then he, even after this, he's received negative feedback in some ways, when it's obviously like terrible situation that happened to a pretty good dude. So
yeah,
really sucks.
Chat was pointing out at the top of this, it says it'll take you about an hour to read his full statement, according to the Medium post, where it tells you how long it'll take to read a statement. Or an
sucks because, like, I mean, I understand too from like we've gotten the opportunity to work with some games and do in-game music syncs and working with creative teams and working if you've worked in any sort of business, you understand that if there's too much space between individual people involved, then it's not fun. You have to piece together stuff and figure out what you're supposed to do, and everybody hears something slightly different. So it sucks to hear that like he had the head guy like literally back and forth direct comms. You can't just say like, oh no, it was bad communication through the teams. It was like deliberate and deliberate like decisions being made on behalf of id via whatever Mike or whatever the dude's name is. So,
Marty Stratton. I just
Marty.
He's an executive producer at id Software. He's also the studio director. So.
Yeah, like that's no excuse. It's like literally saying like I talked to Martin Scorsese and the movie turned out weird. Why? Like it's like, like no. So
yeah, and there's been, as far as I'm aware, it's been complete silence from id, which, given the the claims, makes a lot of sense. They're probably, and we're probably never going to see a response publicly, I would think.
No,
because those are some very big legal ramifications, statements out of Mick Gordon. So an interesting thing though to see all that come out now, like what 2 years after that game was shipped. I think it's 2 years. Seems like it's been 2 years. It's been a while.
And it's been years. Yep, it's been years.
Yeah. I hope this at least helps Mick, kind of clear his name for anything that was thrown at it, and we can start to hear more and more of his stuff in future projects for sure. Because when
the good news is
given a chance, he kills it.
Mick has been fine, and I mean Mick is also fully scoring Atomic Heart, which is coming out soon. That's right. Going to be a absolutely huge release. He's done other music as well between now and then. So hopefully he's fine, and if anything, this letter should make him even more fine. But he's still chugging along.
Yeah. I think that's it for news. Anything you guys want to bring up? Any other thing I missed past week? Tucker, you got anything?
If you're not paying attention to the Counter-Strike major, finals are today, but you should go back and watch. You should go watch the highlights, or at least like go watch some clips from it. It's in Brazil.
Yeah.
And Furia, one of the best Brazilian teams, made a pretty deep run. And I mean, it was nuts. It felt like I was watching a soccer game. It was incredible. Despite like with any huge empty stadium income, despite the fact that people are making, and rightfully so, the assumption that there's probably not going to be a lot of people supporting non-Brazilian teams once Furia got knocked out. It is just really impressive to see esports be cheered for like that. Not like literally crowd chants, people shirtless, just like real actual culture.
It felt also like from the footage that I saw yesterday when Furia was fighting, when they're playing against Navi, it felt like a true away team.
Yeah.
Showing up at like the home court. Nuts. Like it was wild. Like fans, the team walked out and like got booed the entire time they were walking to the stage. And it wasn't a low, quiet boo. It was like fuck you, go home, go get out of here, boo. Like, we don't want
was-
you here. It was awesome. It was great to see in esports.
Like people made comments that the crowd wasn't actually nice. I don't care. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the crowd was the most involved and electric that any esport has ever had that I have ever seen.
Yes.
And that in its own was the cool part. Everything else, individual behaviors aside, because I'm not gonna act like I know everything that went on in that large crowd of fanatic Brazilian fans. But like,
Sure.
I don't know. It was
Same.
just cool as a perspective.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying as well. Because when they
Isn't that-
won, when they wanted to get to the semifinals, that crowd went crazy. Like, soccer fan is a great comparison, I think. I will try to find the clip and maybe toss that around in the break because it's worth seeing that on Twitch when you can't even hear the people trying to talk over it because the crowd is that loud. Not something you see very often in esports, especially when like the joke of esport is the award ceremonies are just someone standing there and giving a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Being handed a trophy and then giving
It's
another
just nice to
thumbs
see
up.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, just to have some passion, some energy in there. Zeke, what were you going to ask or what were you going to say?
Like, isn't that like part of sports?
Yes.
Is part of competition, like part of the fun is booing the away team, right? Like, did it get out of hand?
I don't know.
Malicious.
Simple said that
he's a player.
One of his teammates one of the players got spit on, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
obviously there's
Okay.
obvious. Okay,
That's
hear
a
me.
little bit
This I might see. This might not be the take that other people agree with, but I am not excusing that behavior as good. I am simply going to point you towards literally any large event of two teams playing against each other. Any sport, anywhere, you will have bad faith actors. Like literally in it, like you. It's just, it doesn't matter what country, doesn't matter where, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to look at that and like say the whole crowd is fucking awful for that. Like that's just one
bad guy.
I'll take what Jericho said a step further. Anywhere there's a lot of humans in one place, there's going to be some shitty people. So I
now
mean,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
You've got it. You've made a great resounding statement there.
So on that note, there you go.
Yeah. One person's actions doesn't reflect on the whole crowd, hopefully. But it was wild to see that. Are the finals today, Jericho?
They are happening right now, yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know.
And Furia got knocked out yesterday, right?
They did. They almost had a 15-5 comeback. Went into overtime and they lost, and then they kind of got rolled the last map, as far as I know. But like that made me stop playing God of War to go watch them make this comeback into OT because it was like I was like, oh, this is special. If they win, it's gonna be nuts.
Crowd's gonna
they
be
didn't,
crazy.
but yeah.
How's the crowd today with no Brazilian?
I haven't
team
watched. I woke up 4 minutes before getting on this show.
Good point. Yeah, Graham point. Educated statement there. Yeah. I might tune in during the break just to see because
we've established that Jericho does not give a shit about obligations
at all. I do. That's why I'm here. All right. That's why I'm here.
Shut up. Other people would have said not making it and hit the snooze button.
Fair enough. Yeah. You're playing through the pain, and I do want to let you know I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll come back and then talk about how we're going to talk about God of War, and then go from there. We'll talk about
Sound like parents like gonna give like the birds and the bees talk as a team's like, okay, we're gonna talk about how we're gonna talk about this.
Well, I already had
how do we start?
Yeah, I had a ton of people in my chat already say like, are you guys gonna go full on spoilers? Or are you gonna?
No, I haven't beat the game.
I don't think any of us.
I have played less than all of you, so we're not doing that.
Yeah,
let's not. No story related stuff.
And
even
mechanics, it's hard because they're story related. So it's gonna be weird.
No new story mechanics that are Ragnarok specific.
So nothing past the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yes.
Let's take a break. And then, like I said, we'll come back and we're going to talk about how we're going to talk about God of War. Be right back.
Boy.
More drop frames right after this. We'll see you then. Thanks everyone so much for coming out to Drop Frames today. We're going to take a quick break. Like I just said, we'll get back to it right after this. See you guys soon.
Chains that you pull away. I feel the fear when you look at me. But we've had enough of love. Is this not enough? Let me in your eyes. Feel it deep inside.
Don't forget, if you want to check out the full VOD later today for Drop Frames, you can find it over at youtube.com/hitmejp for any audio listeners out there. You can also go find it on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. That'll also be up later today. If you missed the soft announcement over in my neck of the woods, lastcallforadventure.com started up Friday. We'll have our full reveal tomorrow. Shout out to the literal thousands of folks who have already partooken, that's not a word, who have already joined us over on Discord and or followed all the socials and whatnot. Do appreciate you guys. Tomorrow should be a fun big reveal for all that. It'll happen, I think, at 5 p.m. Eastern is when that countdown ends. If you want to check out anything that I'm talking about, lastcallforadventure.com for more information. Next week, we'll be joined by former Twitch.tv employee, Marcus DJ Wheatgraham. Excited to have him back on the program. We're talking to him about all things streaming and also just what he's been up to, what he's been gaming on, all that stuff. Should be a good time. Welcome back. Going into the second half here of Ye Olde Drop Frames. The God of War part, where we talk about how we're going to talk about God of War. Okay, so me, Ko, and Jericho have been playing. I think Ko is the furthest along. How many hours do you have in the game, roughly speaking, Ko?
I don't know. Probably
on your save file is different because I don't
15-ish?
think it saves deaths. I don't think it factors in that time.
That's true, and I have died a lot.
I have 25 hours saved.
Okay.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean it doesn't factor in your deaths?
It doesn't.
So
I don't think it.
If you die, if you spend like an hour on a boss, it doesn't count that hour.
What the fuck does that? What's the point of that?
I don't know.
Because it expects you to be good.
That doesn't make any sense. My Elden Ring gameplay is like 3 minutes then. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why? I need to know how much time I've spent physically in there, not like how much progress, how long it took me to progress.
Am I wrong about that?
That's saying 36-ish is how many hours I'm in it, apparently.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
wow.
to be,
I'm
be fair,
Christ.
yeah, he's put in a lot. He also got a Tuesday. So
I have anytime, like there's many parts in the game, just like in the original God of War, where you'll get up to like a gateway, and it's like, go into the gateway for the main story. Or there's an NPC right here that if you talk to him, he will tell you that, hey, now you can go around this entire area that you just went through, and there's a bunch of side quests to do. Every time I've seen that, I have done every single side quest I can do.
Same.
I'm like, and there is tons of side stuff.
Dude,
some of it is actually fantastic.
I spent 10 hours yesterday doing that.
Yeah.
Only side stuff. Finished the main part up. Oh, here's 10 hours of side stuff. And it was all good. Like, I enjoyed every aspect of it, of that.
There is a very cool journalist by the name of Gene Park.
Yes.
And before any of this came out, he tweeted that for the first time since Witcher 3, he feels like side quests are, in some cases, rival the main story. And I definitely looked at that with a bit of a skeptical eye.
Sure.
Because I mean, hell, he liked Zelda Breath of the Wild. How much credit can you give him? And basically, but sure enough, he nailed it. He absolutely like there are some side quests that I have completed that are very meaningful, that have like serious implications that show entire sides of the characters that are not really don't really have a spotlight shine on them a lot of times. Like they're really really good. In some cases, like it's not just the kind of thing where you like turn in X and get Y item and it's done. It's like you turn in X, a giant event that changes that part of the world happens, and then you get like a really cool iconic item, and it's just like,
Yeah.
holy shit! Like it's very cool. It's very cool.
I've only experienced like I think one major side quest line thus far, and even that, if the rest of the game matches that in terms of everything involved in it, I'm very excited to do all of that, do all the side quest stuff. Zeke,
Are y'all on the hardest difficulty?
I think we all are. Zeke,
No.
oh, Jericho's not.
One step below.
Okay.
I like to try and enjoy myself.
Which is still damn hard, for the record.
Yeah,
I've talked to
it
people
is.
who, yes. So for the record,
Yeah, I watched you guys play it, and I was like, yeah, that looks pretty hard. I think I'll go one step below. And I'm like, this looks pretty similar to me. I'm not really sure what the change. Like maybe I think you get a health buff. I think you probably. I would actually like to know if they have like can lay out for me what the difference is in like damage you receive or whatever. But like,
yeah,
it's still hard.
But I mean, from what I understand, like if you're taking 50 damage on the hardest difficulty, you're taking like 40 damage on the second hardest difficulty, which is like the difference between 3 hits and 2 hits.
2 hits,
dying.
yeah.
So it's just like,
but it matters.
It's still really, really tough.
I got my HP increase. It's like, great. Now instead of 2 hits, I'll die in 2 hits still. This is pointless. Why do
I know, dude.
Why do I have more HP?
Honestly, on hardest difficulty, and just a little bit of a criticism here, the game suffers from the same thing the first one did, where it's like stats. Well, you want defense, doesn't matter because you're still going to get killed in the hit. You want attack, doesn't matter. The enemies are still going to be HP pools. Like, it does kind of suck in that regard, where like the only thing you really start looking at is like the sub effects, like this gives you a bonus if you do this, or like there's even one where it's like you get to dodge better if you use this, and it's just like like some of them are really meaningful, but the actual stats themselves, you have to completely stack a stat, like 100% focused one aspect of your character to make it be somewhat meaningful.
Yeah, I don't think I'm far enough to know if like the stat issue. I want to say I'm like around 180 strength and like 190 defense or something like that. So I don't know in the grand scheme of things what that means. But I do think it is a more finely tuned difficulty. Whereas in the first one, it was like everyone is an HP sponge. Everyone takes no damage. In this one, it feels like things actually do take damage, and they kind of worked on that a little bit better. As well as when you go into like rage mode, you're not just punching a brick wall. Like when you go into rage mode now, at least most of the stuff I've fought, it tends to die. Apart from like bosses. Bosses, it doesn't matter. Who fucking cares about your rage mode? But like the normal mobs, I can actually most of the time take down a target while using rage mode. I can't like complete the entire encounter. So
I'll answer that with a
yeah. Does that change later on in the game?
I mean, it really depends on the mob.
Sure,
but there are definitely times later when you can like Hulk out with a 2-bar full rage thing and do like maybe a third of an enemy's health.
Okay. I don't think I've experienced that.
It depends on the mob a lot of times.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't know you. Little tip. This isn't really a spoiler. To be fair, I didn't know you could upgrade your rage mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't know that. So until like hour 30, I was on my level 1 rage the whole time. That was that was a bit of a thing.
My man was like, I'll do it normally. No steroids, no nothing.
So,
I hate this.
I'm gonna hard mode my hard mode. Let's do it.
Here's one thing, and I don't know if this was true in the first one. I honestly can't recall because it was 1 pre-COVID and 2 like 4 or 5 years ago when I fully played it. Are there more tools in this game than you've ever had before? And also, do you guys use them? Because I don't. I just kind of press
When you
square,
say tools, what do you mean?
Like the combos and like the amount of things you can do is almost like a fighting game, like brain breaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't use any of those.
If you watch the people that are really, really good at God of War, they are constantly switching their weapons. And I don't mean just like switching their weapons to use their little 2 cooldown abilities.
Yeah.
I mean like They're throwing their axe at a target to freeze them with the heavy attack. They're switching back to their blades, doing their whole thing with that. Back to the axe so they can use this move at this time to charge up to do this. Re-CCing that guy with the axe, going back to their blades. I mean, you nailed it when you said it's like a fighting game. Now like with the axe, you can charge it up. You can do different moves while you're dodging. You can do different types of throws. Hold, all those have hold versions.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot. Absolutely.
I think that when I don't want to derail this, and we can just go back into this, but like when we talk about the difference between Elden Ring and God of War, specifically the coolest thing that God of War has done for me, and I agree with you, there is not too much. For me, there is too much where I kind of like look at all of the sheets and stuff, and I'm like, God, I really hope I don't accidentally spec this out awful and it makes the game not possible like I did the last game where I did a cooldown build. Don't do that. I hoped that we wouldn't have to deal with the same scenario, but like the combos and the fluidity of the fighting and your ability to do these like fighting game-esque stun locks where like I got one where I was literally juggling the enemy for like 30 seconds where it wouldn't hit the ground, using moves and things. I'm trying to figure out what we can talk about, but like just using the stuff in the game, right? And I was like, this feels good. Like it feels really special to be able to do that in God of War.
I mean, I will go as far as to say it is, for me, if you compare it to like a Devil May Cry or anything kind of in the same realm, this is like the best combat I've played. Like it's not even from just a feeling aspect, from a look aspect. Like some of the stuff, it's like they applied everything they did in the first game to throwing the axe to literally everything else in the game when it comes to combat. It feels phenomenal. And like they sat there and just worked on it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Just like
real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm seeing it in my head, but this guy that just said it, I hope that he did it crossing his arms and shake his head at the same time. No, Elden Ring's better.
That's
Objectively,
going to be the conversation, 100%.
Objectively, it's not. That's like one of the few things that I think God of War did do better than Elden Ring is the combat. Like I'm. By the way, I got my PlayStation 5 just the day that I played God of War. I have not had one this entire time. Blown away by the controller and the haptics that you do. Like it's incredible.
Battery life sucks, but everything else is king.
Yeah, but like, man, the combat really does make you feel almost like you can do no wrong when you're hitting and stringing like multi-weapon combos and your cooldowns are going well. It's like it gives me that like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing it well. I'm doing the thing.
Yeah, you feel like the God of War when you do well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, since I haven't played a single second of it, the way you're describing it, I recently went back for Excessive Profanity, his 100-month sub appreciation game. Yeah. He picked Bayonetta. And I went back to Bayonetta and I was like, yeah, the very first Bayonetta. And I went back to it and I said, okay, I played through, Bayonetta 1 and 2. So now I just want to ask you guys, is there like a set of moves that I can easily do every time that is a powerful like combo that is like could be your bread and butter? And I'm wondering, is that the same in like, because they were like, yes, it's this, and like that'll be your home base. Yeah, go back to that and you'll win. Like you'll be all right.
Totally.
Is there something like that in God of War?
You depending on difficulty, and I would say even on the hardest difficulty, I primarily just press one button, which is a lot of square.
Light attack.
Okay.
Yeah, light attack. Yeah, well, I have my control switch, so it's square and triangle instead of R1, R2. And like light attack is good, but Zeke, the thing is you press that and then you like throw in a heavy in there and you're like, oh, that looked cool. I'm gonna press heavy some more. And then you see like, oh, that if I hold that down, he like does a spin around move and like grabs that guy and I could throw things off of a bridge, then it'll just die immediately. I'm gonna start doing that. So oh, but if I swap to that, I can do the scorpion move and pull oh, but now I can light him on fire if I press the other button. Like, you just start seeing all this other options that you have, and you're like, fuck, that's so cool. I got to do that.
And here's the thing, and this is important. There, just like JP said, there is, your light attack. You can just spam light attack if you want to. And especially if you're not on the hardest difficulty, you will get through with that.
Yeah.
But going back to what JP said about the tools, it starts getting to the point where there are quick ways to either instantly incapacitate or kill enemies, or there are tools you can use to make fights. So instead of having to hit L1 for 30 seconds, you could do this specific thing with this tool and kill them in 10 seconds. So it's the kind of thing where that even though there is that kind of one fallback combo that'll move you through the whole game, if you do end up using the tools, you're talking about making the fights much, much easier than if you were to just use that one hit wonder combo.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It's very cool. And especially as you start getting to the point where I'm at the game, you get like some tools you didn't expect to get, and that opens even more doors, and it's cool.
Yeah.
I hate being the like I'm the one of those guys that falls into the trap of like, you know, I will keep using the move that looks the coolest to me, and it's probably not even close to the best damage, and just like fucking beat my head because it's like, dude, why he's grabbing his face, pushing his thumbs through his eyes, and then using his head as a bowling ball? Why is that not doing more damage? It looks so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think they do a good job contextualizing like the animations for what you're doing, and there's not a lot of like. I think when you look at it, like some games are he does a giant haymaker and slams his body into the ground, and the player goes oof, right? But like everything that you're doing has an accurate. Or it feels like an accurate reaction. So if you do light, heavy with your axe, you do this like overhead spike, which hits like a normal like weak enemy into the ground and bounces him up. So if he's bounced up in the air and you do another heavy, you come from above and you knock him up higher. And now he's in the air again. And from below, sorry. And then you can then switch it up, like use your grab with your so like the combo crafting, they do a good job of making it feel like, oh, I did the heavier and more damaging thing that looked cooler. That does do more. And it's also when you're like when you get them stunned, you can tell if it's going to be a kill stun, if it's yellow or a red.
Yeah.
And like the animations are similar. Like you'll do like an over the head roll throw, and then you can use that to kill, like JP said, throwing them off a bridge. There's like it's a lot less like we gave them more health. It's like situational awareness will save you a lot of time fighting a lot of the enemies on the higher difficulties.
Yeah. There are also just mobs that say fuck you. Right?
Yeah,
There's mobs that everything Jericho just said,
yeah.
They're like, no, you're not. You're just you got to get good. And I think I speak to that, and Zeke, this might resonate with you, is I got really angry in the first game, and I was getting mad at the game. When I get mad at this game, I'm mad at myself for playing bad, right? And there's a big difference between those two types of anger with video games, because I'm never blaming the game. In this one, I'm just like, God, I don't know why I did X move. I should have done that, or I should have done fuck. And then you just go back into the next one, and it feels great because you get better, right? You force yourself to get better, at least on the hardest difficulty.
That was my biggest, like, the reason why I didn't complete the last game on the hardest difficulty, because it didn't make the game's challenge more fun. It just made it longer.
Sure.
And that's why, like, to me, that's why I took it back to the second hardest difficulty, because it felt like the enemies were as smart as they were in the hardest, AI, whatever. But it didn't feel like I had to do the same thing more times just to beat them,
Right.
This is why I do choose the second highest thing usually. Like with Doom, maybe that's the third highest, like not Nightmare, but the one below it. Like there's a certain level of enjoyment progressing through the game that I feel like I am not missing out on the ingenuity of some of these bosses, or not bosses, but even the ads and the frustration of these little weevil things that are just like, or frogs. Like, I hate you.
Those are the hardest mobs in the game.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I know I'm not missing out on this because I'm still getting pissed off. So like as long I'm like everybody's different, but for me I think it goes a long way with a game this complex, and especially if you're the type of person who will replay it, given how much you can do to spec your abilities in one way or the other or build your character. I would just say play through it on the second highest difficulty, and then don't get pissed off that you're doing the same boss, or not even the same boss, the same area 16 times in a row. Do it twice or 3 times and be like, all right, that felt good.
From a difficulty point of view, and Co, I'm curious for you since you're playing on the hardest difficulty as well. The harder fights for me are when there's more mobs. If it's a one-on-one situation, I can like generally do it on the first or second try. It's when you throw in like 5 or 6 mobs at once and they're all doing a lot of damage. And there's, like Jericho just said, there's little tiny things that will literally one-shot you out of nowhere. But you can one-shot those things if you're aware.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a 15 plus death encounter today with a normal set of enemies.
Yeah.
Just because there were so many of them that like I would start hitting one and then one would hit me from behind, and then the second I get hit from behind, a projectile would come in from the left, and I'm dead.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like the hardest fights for me in this game have not been boss fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
So yeah.
Well,
No question.
There was I had a side quest boss where you're fighting 2 at once. I guess is how I.
Then
would
you're
say
fighting
that.
2.
Yeah, I guess
Doesn't
that's
count
true.
anymore.
It's not really a boss fight, but yeah, that's true.
And I hated those guys in Elden Ring too. Those 2 like forsaken.
Yeah,
Queen
well, there's
guys.
a lot. Yeah.
God.
But I felt like at least in Elden Ring, you could like, the AI is so aggro in this game that if you take a step back, the enemies don't wait. They walk forward at you at great speed. They're not waiting for you to react. You're reacting to them most of the time. But Cohen, in the examples where there are a lot of mobs, you're like, well, I got to get good. I got to deal with that guy over there first. I got to make sure that I one-shot this thing with an ability that I know will one-shot it. And then when those fights feel the best to me when you win, because the narrative of one dude walking into that arena with X amount of guys and you just demolish and rip and tear all of them apart is
Rip and tear
awesome.
until it's done.
It feels great. Right. It's so good.
A couple of people brought this up, and I want to ask you guys since I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
How big of a boss is the camera boss?
A little bit. It can be rough in some parts when you're up against a wall.
The camera boss and sometimes the targeting boss.
Targeting is huge. You're right.
Yeah, I've been having some issues with the targeting every so often where like sometimes it like when you have an enemy targeted, sometimes left and right won't switch targets left and right. You have to do it like at little angles. So if you're in the middle of combat, you know, there's 2 guys kind of right next to each other. This dude is doing a move that you have to interrupt by throwing your axe. And you're sitting there trying to move over to throw the axe, but the target keeps going back to the left guy. You're like, what? I already have a hard enough time. Stop it.
Yeah, it's like there's a guy with a magnet on the other side of the arena, and he's just sitting there like.
And the game thinks it's helping. The game thinks it's helping you, but at the same time, it's like it's just ruining everything. So you know, it doesn't happen all the time. You don't have to use lock on. So you know,
I might turn it off. I'm getting close to it.
There are ways to get around it, but at the same vein, it can be a lot.
I find myself like gripping the controller so often that I'll just do things because of how tightly I'm holding the controller from stress, where it's like, I didn't mean to lock onto that guy, or I didn't mean to like press L1 to R1 and that started some weird thing happening in the fight.
Turn off the fucking sticks? Oh, please tell me you can turn off the sticks.
I think so. The game has a ton of accessibility that you might be able to, but I'm not 100% certain.
I cannot stand that games that have locked moves on the push of the sticks because I fucking do that so much.
There's a lot of
bad.
I do that same thing. And I haven't looked to try to turn it off, but I bet you it's probably possible.
Well, left click is sprint.
Left stick in is sprint. Yeah. So that's needed. And that also, funny enough, in fights, if you're sprinting and you press an action button, it does something different than if you're just standing. Like it does a sprint
gap closer.
Yeah, it does like a gap closer type deal.
Sick.
Which is great sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So, No. You jump into the boss head first.
Exactly.
I saw a tweet.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet from Strippin that really.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Like,
I know where you're going.
Brought up my anger. And the anger comes from the game telling you clues to a puzzle before you get to a puzzle.
So Zeke.
And I hate that idea.
You can turn it off.
I don't think you can.
What?
Because I saw
that particular point has been going back and forth in chat the whole time.
I don't.
Have you actually turned it off?
I've tried to turn it off, and I don't.
No,
think
I
it
need
works.
it. I love it. I'm literally the person like because I'll be talking to chat and I and miss what they say and I'm like crap and then I'm like wandering around and Trace is just like we should probably go up there, huh, Dad?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, that's what I got to do. My bad.
Yeah.
Like, but I get that if you're actually just playing it and you don't like that.
There's a lot of it.
It gets bad. It gets bad. So like there's a couple clips going around. Like Ella has a great clip going around where there's like this one part where it's like, okay, there's 2 platforms. You have
Careful.
to hit an item over. No, this is not a spot. This is don't worry. This is no spoiler. There's 2 platforms. You have to hit an item to swing it over, and then you have to jump over and shoot something, and then you have to go forward. So literally, you're with a character, and she goes, "Hey, maybe there's something we could hit to swing over there." And then the second you do that, and you get the other side, she goes, "I wonder if we can hit something to keep moving forward." And then the second you hit that thing, she's like, "Hey, you know what? We should keep going forward." And it's just like, "Mother, I'm playing the game."
I go back and forth with it. Like, and someone brings up
quick. Go. Give me one of these. You got so angry. Angry. You got a
Did I get war spittle?
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, I think you did. Someone in chat brought up an interesting point, and I think that the statement is, I feel like this is a streamer issue. I haven't seen a single regular person complain about this. I definitely see regular, quote unquote, regular people complain about this. But I feel like for streamers, this is what most streamers have combated for years while streaming is don't backseat us. And then the game itself backseats you in like record time. And they know, unlike a lot of people that try to backseat, exactly how to backseat and say the exact
I've seen
thing.
many non-streamers complain about it.
Yeah.
It does. The thing is the game does try to help you, and it's cool that it tries to help you. It just, there are specific periods when it is very excessive.
Yes.
Where it is like like during a boss fight.
I saw
you
that
should
one.
parry that. You should dodge that.
There's
Hit
a
him
lot of that.
harder. Lay into him. And it's just like,
yeah.
come on, man. I get it. The big yellow circle meant parry. You didn't need to yell at me to parry it.
I was watching our buddy.
I won't be happy till it's like Kingdom Hearts level and they're just like.
I was watching our buddy Man vs. Game do a boss, and character was like, brother, parry that. Next 5 seconds. You should parry that, brother. And man is just like, shut the fuck up. Stop fucking talking to me. I fucking hate you. And I think
one of the
it's kinda
best
real.
parts. One of the best parts is, it's not a spoiler, but I'm gonna say it. Mimir is like, "You're on fire, brother, but you probably knew that." It's just like,
They keep it kind of funny.
I'm literally on fire. I know.
Yeah.
Thanks. And the
No,
best
he
part
says
is,
you're on fire,
once you
it'll
have, like,
pass. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll pass. That's right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the best part is there's nothing you can do about that. He's just like, "You're on fire.
You're on fire, man.
By the way."
Yeah.
And there's one encounter that was really difficult for me later in the game because the enemy would always set you on fire. So every time I die, Mimir would tell me I was on fire, and it'll probably pass as I'm fading into the blackness. It'll probably pass as I'm dying just over and over.
The
and
amount
over
of like,
and over.
hey, get up, and like, it's funny that they probably got a little bit too excited with the love that the dialogue the game has is incredible, but they also may have been like, we need more haha funny one-liners, boys. Like, we need to get in there and make as many as possible, or else we can't get the clips going. And it's just like, it gets tiring when you're dying and they have a one-liner every time.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Let me die.
For sure.
A one-liner is funny because it's a one-liner.
That's exactly right.
not a 55-liner.
Yeah.
And it just gets a little grating.
Yeah. So Zeke, I think you might honestly get upset about it. Especially if you're going to go in on hardest difficulty, you're probably going to hear a lot of the same stuff a lot.
I actually Google searched it, and like all the suggestions are like, no, you can't turn them off, but you can turn off their dialogue.
The dialogue,
mute it, and turn off subtitles.
Which
and you're like,
sucks.
no, I like
That's
the
different.
banter.
Yeah.
Don't
That's totally
fucking
different.
tell.
And-
Don't like.
And to be honest,
It's a
that's
puzzle. Don't fucking fill in the crossword and hand it back to me and say you're welcome. Okay.
Yeah. That, to be honest, that's where the game shines is the, just like in the first one where you're on a boat and you constantly hear the stories from Mimir.
Amir.
This is just nonstop, like backstory content. Here's a ton of just lore about the world.
These people
just
love
nonstop.
not shutting the fuck up. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
I
enjoy it,
You
though.
guys are. You
But
do, I at some point I'm like, when am I supposed to? This is such a stupid argument for a streamer, but like, when am I supposed to talk playing this game? like, there's just always There's dialogue when we're just walking somewhere. The only non-dialogue moment is when you're in a fight.
Yeah.
So like, otherwise, there's a lot of, and also I, as a small brain, smooth brain kid, adult, I have like a tough time getting all of this information and like figuring out what's super important for me to remember and what is just like they're just talking about the good old days, or like, do I need to know this? Is this backstory that's very important later on that I'm missing? Because this is the 9th time that they've had dialogue filling for like 5 minutes.
If anything, most of that story is just context that I found.
Right.
And it's relevant to the relationship that's happening on screen between the characters, right? Like it builds that. Because there are a lot of now I can't talk about getting into the story stuff. There's reasons for it, I guess, is for those conversations, how I look at it.
I want to be clear. Like, I love well, actually, I don't know I love the characters and the writing is fantastic. And I like many actual laugh out loud moments with the stuff. So it's not even a question of, I don't want there to be as much talking. It's just like when you give me a book of info, don't like, I'm sorry if I have a couple questions on like, am I filtering this out correctly? Am I trying to remember too much? Is any of this important in the long run?
Yeah.
You know, there's just a lot more than I remember the first one having. Exposition is what I'll call it.
Yes, there's a lot for sure. But that's I feel like that's as far as we can go in that conversation without getting into like story aspects of it. So I'll take a hard swerve there. Graphics performance, I think it's fantastic. What are you guys running it on? Because there's a lot of different ways to quote unquote play the game for a PlayStation, for a console. I'm on like
all performance, man.
I forget the
I'm on performance
settings.
1440p performance, 120 hertz. And so I think some chat told me that's 60 FPS base and then up to 120 during like some instances. So that it feels great. I
haven't felt a drop yet, and it seems like a solid 60 at I think 1440 to 1800 is the scale. So
yeah,
I'm playing on a 4K monitor and it's 4K. It's 4K.
Same.
You know, it's been 60 the entire time, and I haven't seen a single texture, anything where I'm just like, wow, that looks bad. I did walk up onto a rock in a certain area, and it was like missing the shader or texture on it, and I just saw everything. I looked through it, and that was kind of strange. But apart from that, like it's been absolutely flawless.
It's so good looking. This is my first experience with a next gen console 2 years later. You know, it's insane how good they've gotten console games to look. It looks incredible.
Yeah, and the art direction for this, I think, is the first one. You know, you can only see so much snow. There are some vistas and things in this where it's like the giraffe moment in Last of Us, where I just kind of like put down the controller or just look around and look at all the small things on the screen multiple times. And the game also knows that. And so it like forces you to get out of a situation a lot of times to like pull back the camera or the FOV. And so they've done it so many times that it's just incredible looking in multiple places throughout the game. And like I said, I don't feel like I'm very far at all with 25 hours logged. And I'm really curious to know like how big the game actually gets. I could message Co to know that, because I think he's further than me. And he'll probably tell me, you know, X amount of hours more, blah, blah, blah. But even Co, he's 35 hours and hasn't finished yet. So, yeah.
I'm just excited for like, I'm a sucker for big things. Like I love like Shadow of the Colossus, like that kind of stuff. Like I'm tiny, big thing come.
Yeah.
Like I love that shit. Like there's the Jormungandr moment from the first game. Like when you're like, holy fuck,
Yes, it
this
does
thing
that
is the
nonstop.
world serpent. Holy shit. And then you get the scale of it and you're just like, whoa, it's like kind of mind blowing. Like I can't wait for those moments in this game.
It does it nonstop, dude.
You'll get them.
There's a moment like that even on a smaller scale with two. Well, I mean, we know Thor's in the game, right? We saw the trailer, but when you see how big Thor is, I remember he like walks up and I was like, that's a big boy. Like I had no idea. He's huge.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Could voice, how do we, Zeke, maybe this is a question for you. How do we feel about talking about the voice actors in the game? Without giving context as to
if it's there's like surprise characters and stuff, because I know like the basic gist of who's in it that is not a surprise. Like I know, like,
do you know who plays Odin?
Just from artwork and stuff.
Do you know who voices Odin?
No.
I kind of
should probably not talk about it.
I kind of don't want to tell you then, but I'll just say that is controversial.
I think it's fantastic.
I think it's fantastic as well. I'm in camp. This is like,
it's amazing.
Honestly, it's my dream casting, but there are a lot of people who are not fans of the voice.
And I can understand why.
If it's not Ian McShane, like, then it's gonna be a lower tier. Ian McShane,
fair enough.
As Mr. Wednesday, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, sure. That is good. It is. God, there's the opening of the game is strong, is what I will say. The first 2 hours of that game are phenomenal. And I've watched the opening from so many different streamers, and everyone's got the same like, holy fuck type reaction. Like they must have gone over that countless times, just oodles of hours to get that perfect.
You think they offered him more than $4,000?
I would think.
Sorry.
I would think. Yeah, I would probably think they do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. From voice acting and like the acting and there's it's just very good. I don't have a single complaint about a single character or a single moment in the game. I don't think so far, and it's all been flawless.
Yeah, like the first game was fucking amazing, excellent.
Yeah,
or the first game, the first new game.
Yeah,
was excellent, and if it's like every single person that I've seen, or seen on Twitter, every single person that I've talked to, just is madly in love with the game, and I'm excited because I got my brand new, OLED fucking 4K whatever TV, 60-inch. I'm just ready. I'm gonna go and just fucking veg out the rest of the day after I run some errands. God damn it, I'm gonna run real quick.
Yeah, the only thing is probably the like backseating VO is most of the negative commentary around the game has been about that. I haven't seen much.
I wanted to mention that. I'm glad you brought it up again because I felt like there was a little bit of me that felt hypocritical because in Metal Gear, like if you call the captain, I don't know, whatever, but if you call him enough,
Colonel,
like, yeah, the Colonel. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you call the Colonel enough, like he'll eventually say like, he'll give you like little hints as you go, like, there's got to be some way that Psycho Mantis can't read your inputs. And you call him again, he's like, I bet if we did this, he wouldn't be able. And you're like, oh, thank you, because it's something you would never have thought of because it's Kojima and it's fucking off the wall bonkers. Like, put the fucking controller in port 2.
Well,
like you're supposed to get that from the hints you were giving.
It's kind of weird.
Like what?
It's weird you mentioned that because I did a puzzle last night where, and it was very off. It was kind of hidden. I felt it was one of those cool moments where I stumbled upon it and it felt very hidden. And the companion didn't say a single thing through the puzzle. And I sat there for like probably 10 to 15 minutes just thinking, what the fuck do I do? Like, I don't understand it. I don't even know how to start this whole thing. I see before me what I need to do in terms of the end goal, but I have no idea how to start it. And they didn't say a single thing the entire puzzle. So it feels like for like main path stuff, they're very vocal, but at least in this instance, side path stuff, they didn't say anything. And I don't know what caused that to occur because I didn't change any settings. There was nothing. They were there. I saw their character walking around, but there was no vocal call outs to anything. So I wonder how they handled that in the sense of if it's like main story stuff gets the back seat. If you have to complete this puzzle, they will tell you eventually how to complete it. Is all I can think of. It was strange, and I didn't actually think about that, Zeke, till you brought it up. Where like you can call upon people in other games, and they will tell you what to do. This one just offers it to you ad nauseum. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a good system though. Like the hit system should be voluntary. If I want it, like I'll tap the head, be like, hey,
correct
help
me if
out,
I'm wrong.
help me out here.
In 2018's God of War, didn't they have a boy button to where like it would call the kid and that he would react one way or the other? Wasn't that a button? Or am I making that up?
I would rather you not call it. I can't remember. Button.
I thought that there was some way to like. I mean, it's
dudes in ancient Rome be like, hell yeah, boy button.
Yeah, no, I think there was a way you would call out to him.
Yeah, right? I thought there was a way to do that. Wasn't there?
I remember that.
Yeah. I don't.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
Same here. He said it so fucking much that maybe it was just time to the button presses. I don't know. Are you not mixing it up with the now button and Stray? No, I didn't play Stray.
Maybe I'm just misconstruing that. Like, maybe there was no way to call him, but you make him like fire arrows or something.
Yeah, maybe that exists.
Yeah, that's an alt.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a story. Oh, chat saying that was a story specific moment. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Someone asked how the game had been selling. It set franchise records for the first week in the UK, at least. They haven't made any statements. Tomorrow being Monday, this past week being the first week of the game's release, you'll probably see something tomorrow of God of War Ragnarok sells X million units in first week, blah, blah, blah. It's probably going to sell incredibly well. And it should. Like it's a 10 out of 10 game. I will also state that Sony has a monopoly on games with side with companions. They've like nailed that gameplay trope with like Last of Us and now this. It's like they're the kings of it. I don't know anyone that can challenge them or rival them in that type of storytelling. And I don't know if I would.
It Takes Two.
Yeah, okay. That's a good one. For sure.
But it's few and far in between.
It is.
I don't know outside of that what other one I would even throw out.
Saying Plague Tale. I watched that. Cause you played it. How's Plague Tale's like companion aspect?
I mean, it was
in comparison.
It was okay.
Okay.
It's very different. But yeah. Plague Tale was good, but not the same. It's not really the same.
Okay. Got it. Well, without getting into like story aspects of it, I think that's kind of all we can say. I don't know when we'll all finish it, especially with Zeke not streaming it. It might take some time. If it is, are you playing the 100% at Zeke?
Maybe not 100%. Like not all of the collectibles or all of the. Well, it was Valkyrie fights in the last one, right? I didn't do every single Valkyrie fight in the last one.
Okay.
Because like, I don't know. It like once I finish get to the credits of most games, the gum loses the flavor. So I try to complete as much of the game as I can before that point, because I know myself and I know like once the game is done, it's just like a huge like release. Just like, oh, what a great game. Yeah. It's like, but you still got like 2 Valkyrie fights. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm done with it. I like this feeling. I'm going to bask in it and I'm not going to like, try and keep chewing this gum.
On the subject of the parallel to that, 25 hours in, I don't know what it is. Ko, have you fought the whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
I fought a few of them.
Comparable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comparable.
Okay.
Yep. And these I like how these are more kind of in your face. So it's but again, completely
Okay.
optional.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're cool. I've enjoyed all of them so far. They're the kind of fight that like you were talking about earlier. They don't feel cheap. Like they feel like you do the fight a few times, you get to see all the moves, and then it's the process of figuring out how to best deal with those moves. And then once you've got that down, it's just having the run.
Yeah.
And I have not yet fought any of them where I'm like, oh, that's so cheap, or that's just dumb, or anything like that. It's like every just like you said earlier, every time you die, you're like, okay, I got to do that differently. I can't gotta dodge at a different time on that one. I need to make sure I parry that move. I can't parry and react to that move because he has a follow up. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I will 100% this one. I'm probably do it on stream. I'm going to try to do everything that I can. I'll take the viewership hit for the month and do everything.
It is. That is one of the only downsides to wanting to share the experience of God of War with everyone. It is one of the few games where everyone is also like, yeah, no, I'm gonna also do the same thing. I want to play it. Yeah. And you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah. It's been most of the channels apart from like the top 5, top 10 have been like 60% of what normal viewership is. A lot lower sometimes. So a hit there, but hey, I get it. People want to play the game themselves. If you start to lag a little bit, I've noticed, at least in my case, like viewership bump has gone up because I'm a little bit further behind when most people are, which has been kind of nice, especially on today where I probably won't be able to play with the show, and probably tomorrow as well. So I'll be hopefully even further behind, but that's all just with Twitch stuff. Eager to play though. Anytime I have free time, it's like, well, I could go. Maybe I'll just fire up the stream and go fuck around in this area, because it offers that a lot. And what?
Any F?
I don't got an F. Yeah. Is it down on your end?
Got some downs. Okay, though. Looks like it's evening out.
Twitch has been kind of bumpy the past week. I've noticed. I don't know if that's on them or me. Barry said it's fine. Okay. Brief F for a second. Yeah, that's God of War. Hell of a thing. If you got a PS5, play it. If you got a anyone play the PS4? How's that run? I wonder. Anyone in chat have the PS4 version of God of War Ragnarok? How does that run there? I'm curious if it's wait for the inevitable PC release. I think people are still catching
Runs
up.
well. It doesn't look as good, maybe.
PS4
Probably like the same
Pro
way that
runs and looks great. 30 FPS, 2K.
Runs just like 2018.
Stable 30. Okay. Cool. Great. So yeah, I guess if you're looking for an experience and can't grab a PS5, the PS4 version seems solid as well. All right.
So is PS4 always locked at 30?
I don't know if they have a performance mode, because 2018 God of War didn't run at 60. I don't think. I think it ran at 30 on maybe PS4 Pro ran 60.
You get 40 on Pro, someone said.
Hey, that's a 33% increase right there. That's noted. That's really notable.
Yeah, they said it's 30 FPS for both performance and quality version.
Okay.
It's probably the last performance mode game on PS5. It's true.
Fucking weird for me. Like, I didn't realize like how big of a difference it was. Like how many games. Like, I just took 60 FPS for granted. And then someone asked me to play Bloodborne. I went back. I was like, why does this seem so chunky? Like, what the fuck? And they're like, because it's 30 FPS. And I went, it didn't feel like that back then. It's like, yeah, because you were playing all 30 FPS games back then. I was like, holy shit. This is like.
Ruins it, doesn't it?
Swimming in molasses, man.
Yep.
Like, usually it doesn't make that big of a difference to me. Like I brought this up yesterday or the other day, talking about a DVD to Blu-ray. And I was like, I see the difference, but I can't justify, a $5 DVD or a $25 Blu-ray. It's like, it's fine on DVD. But this 30 to 60, huge. Like, I had no idea how huge it was to me.
Are you about that on 4K yet? Have your eyes seen thy glory of the 4K?
Seen the light?
Yeah.
Motherfuck, I had a very direct experience with that because I got the new OLED TV 4K whatever.
Yeah.
I hooked it up and I was like, oh, this is glorious. It broke. It zapped off, had a blue line, whatever. I contacted like Best Buy and they're like, you didn't get the warranty. And I was like, fuck. They're like, try LG. They probably haven't. I contacted LG. They're like, we have repair people. We'll come get it. So for that period of time, I was back on my other, 60-inch, older like LED TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my issue.
The blacks aren't black. The whites aren't white. It's just fucking terrible. Like, what kind of a shitty world am I living in? And then it got repaired and got back. I was like, oh, thank God, heaven. Oh, we're back in heaven. Hooray.
Yeah. That as soon as I stepped into the 4K world, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, very early adopter. I was like, I have to get a 4K monitor. Like, I just have to make this step because I could see the jaggies. I could see the line. The lines aren't straight. They suck. These lines are bad. And now everything is in 4K, and it takes a little bit of a performance hit, but it's still great.
Oh, okay. People are trying to correct me. OLED, not 4K. Like, I thought 4K was like the resolution.
4K is resolution.
And OLED was like the lighting.
OLED does have the blacks or
It's the
blacker,
panel.
as you said. Yeah, the panel that's what produces the color quality from the OLED.
But you can have both.
Yeah.
Yes.
4K is just resolution. It's going to make everything look
okay.
crisper and the lines straighter and blah blah blah. Yeah, but the color is purely from OLED.
I see what they're saying. I was mentioning the color and not the clarity. Okay.
There's a lot.
Clarity was pretty similar because my other TV was a 3K, which is a weird resolution. Like that was like the top end for that. It was like a 30, whatever between 2 and 4.
Yeah.
That was the max it could do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a huge jump in clarity, but it was definitely a huge jump in vibrance.
Right.
30 or that is 4K.
Yeah. No, I'm going to blank out. 2160p is 4K. Yeah, because it's
what? Yeah.
2160p is 4K. It's because the number before is 38 something, but they just rounded to 4K to call it 4K.
38. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I always mix up 2160 and 2560 because it's 1440 by it's 2560 by 1440.
Yeah.
But everyone uses the lower number.
Yeah.
So when you say 2160, I don't hear that.
Yeah, that's
what
4K.
I hear is 1440.
The marketing,
like
the people that decided the standard said, we're going to call that 4K and we'll call 1440p 2K, but everyone's going to call it 1440p instead of 2K because fuck you. And that's just
okay. So what I meant was,
yeah, well, I don't know why we do that though.
I don't
the
know.
highest number of the resolution for my last one, my TV before this was, okay, so 1440 by 2560, right? That's 1440. I looked at the higher number and it was 31 something.
Yeah.
Was the highest number. And then it was by a lower number. And I can't remember what that one is.
Mm.
Oh, so it was 3K?
Weird. Yeah, he said it was 3K.
Yeah, that's weird. I've never heard of a 3K TV. Now, or I've never seen one. I assume they exist.
There it is, 3840 by 2160.
That's 4K.
Fucking goddamn it! I did have a 4K TV. Son of a bitch! I don't know what I'm doing.
But you didn't have an OLED. OLED changes the whole fucking thing. Yeah, OLED is what you want. OLED is you want an OLED or a mini LED or there's one other thing that I'm blanking on.
I thought 4K
QLED, yeah, that's Samsung's weird thing.
I thought 4K hit 4K.
No,
it doesn't.
Sorta.
2K does.
You know, it's like how 32 gigs is like 32 and some of them change on top of that.
Yeah.
But it goes past it.
No, it doesn't reach the number 4K.
It doesn't reach it.
They rounded up 38s whatever to 4K. And that's why they call it.
No, I know that, but in gigabytes, do they round up? Just like
no, they round down.
No, they round down.
But that's what I'm saying. They at least hit it.
Yeah.
That's why it was confusing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess in that case, because I guess a potential lawsuit could occur if someone is like, well, this says 256 gigabytes could be stored here, but I've got 254 and it's capped out, blah, blah, blah.
I expected 4,000 pixels. Look at that.
I guess if people, maybe, I don't know. The whole thing's fucked.
Well, my ignorance has successfully delayed or derailed this stream. So
You're not alone.
welcome, everyone.
I mean, read the chat. You're not alone, right? Not everyone's on the 4K hype yet. It's getting cheaper, but it's still not cheap. They're pretty, especially the OLED world. Couple grand is what you're going to pay there. Still expensive. So it makes sense. You didn't derail anything. Especially
Hold on, let me just do something real quick. 4 times 1080 equals 4320. But wait a minute, people are saying that 4K is 4 times 1080, and that math doesn't fucking check out.
It's area. It's not 4 times the length. It's the area. 4 times the area.
Are you square rooting it?
I'm multiplying by pi, taking away sigma, and I'm coming up with Iroquois Pliskin. That's what I'm coming up with.
Yeah, Zeke, I think you want to do 1920 by 2 and 1080 by 2. And that's why it's 4x. Right? Because it's yeah.
Joking. Everybody's joking.
Anyways. What do you guys want to talk about now? We got like 20 minutes. My brain's on God of War and Sonic Frontiers. That's where my
someone informed me. I'm starting up Metal Gear Solid 3.
Nice.
And someone informed me. I said this is the subsistence version.
Oh.
And that's what I specifically got was the
Doesn't it have mini games or something like that?
Subsistence, because it has extra content like mini games and whatnot.
Yeah.
But they informed me that this is part of the pack. The the something edition that has like
the Pliskin edition. I don't know what they call it.
Whatever the edition, but they have like 3 games in it, but they're all individual games. So this was pulled out of that and sold. But it is the subsistence version, but it doesn't have the second disc that the original release had. So I had to buy the fucking thing again to get disc 2 because disc 2 actually has a title. It's Subsistence, and then it's like a little subtitle at the bottom of the disc, Resistance or something. So I had to get another fucking one of these games. So this game is costing me more money than I expected, but I'm excited.
What those
really
run?
Excited to jump back in it.
What those
They're
run?
not too expensive. They're like 30.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this one, that's why I probably got it cheap, because it wasn't the original one. Because I got that one for like 25, minus shipping, and then I was like, no, goddamn, I gotta get the other one with the second disc, and those run like 35. So it was like $10 more for the original thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Ugh, this autofocus is fucking killing me. I'm gonna turn it off.
That's how it goes. When are you starting that? Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yep, Tuesday.
Okay.
Yep. It was a question whether I'd get it in time, because the delivery estimate was for Monday, but it actually came yesterday, so that's good. Nice. But now I gotta wait for the next one if I want to do the extra shit that's coming on Wednesday. So we'll see.
Yeah. Cool. I'm excited to talk about that next week. Jericho, what have you been playing outside of the God of Wars? A lot of COD? Is that where you're?
Yeah, a lot of COD. You know what we can talk about that I'm excited to talk about that it might be interesting?
Let's hear it.
I know for sure you guys have not talked about the new Need for Speed Unbound.
I've seen the trailers, but we have not talked about it because these two don't give a shit about it.
I mean, honestly, I am such a big Need for Speed fan. It was my first racing games were Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on the PlayStation and all this stuff. And so I grew up playing Most Wanted and Carbon and Underground and all this stuff. And the franchise has been dog shit for like 10 years now, like just unbelievably bad. The most recent one was just boring and unimaginative, but they kind of like fixed a lot of the problems that they had. The current one, it really looks like they just said, okay, we've decided to just say, we're not Forza. We're not trying to be. We're not Gran Turismo. We're putting ASAP Rocky in this shit. We've got cartoon lines. You want to, you literally want to.
By the way, Chad, that's a music person.
That's a music guy. Yeah. Like they're done trying to like make it anything more than just do absurd things to your car, and hopefully our driving mechanics are fun. They put it on the street with cop chases, SWAT, etc.
It looks like Need for Speed.
Exactly.
Truly.
And
yeah.
And literally, Need for Speed did not look like Need for Speed for the last 10 years at all. So the fact that you can race an Escalade against a Lambo, like that's what I want to do. I don't care if you're doing anything that's normal. Like that's
Fuck your realism. I want to go fast. That's what this game's saying. I kind of like
and
that.
look, there's a G-Wagon in the race. Like, why? I don't know. Doesn't matter. And so I'm really looking forward to this because the art direction is interesting, and you can minimize. You don't have to have all this crazy stuff if you don't really want to.
Yeah.
But like this is something they wouldn't have done in old Need for Speeds. Really, the whole like aggressive cop versus street racing illegal. You're doing this for money. You're doing because they wanted to stay away from the whole. Our car companies don't want to have Toyota breaking the law. And so the fact that they do have a lot of these main companies, the list is pretty solid. It's not great, but it's a pretty solid list of cars. I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like, for once, it actually looks like they've decided to make a Need for Speed game. So I'm hopeful.
Is Criterion making this? Do you know?
Yeah, Criterion is back on and making it, which is another big thing. I trust them. And,
Criterion made Burnout now, not necessarily the same studio. Burnout, very old IP, but studio in
Burnout too.
Burnout was I have never to date. I haven't seen a good replication of Crash Mode from Burnout. The best mode.
What about the not Wreckfest? What about I know they don't gamify it, but what's that game that's literally like a physics sim?
Oh, I
crashing cars.
I have no idea. Not the
but
same
you're right.
for me.
Mode.
That was man.
Crash Mode was the best. Oh my God, Co, you missed out on an incredible thing.
It was so good.
The goal of Crash Mode was to take yourself. They eventually got it to anywhere, but it started out as here's a busy intersection. We're gonna have firefighter firefighter trucks. We're gonna have ambulances. We're gonna have helicopters. We're gonna have buildings. We're gonna have a ton of cars. And your goal is to hit X amount of damage done with your
property
car.
damage.
Oh my God, it's so fucking good.
Can you just pull up a little game?
Yeah,
let's pull it up because because this was like it was like the original wreckage. Just you can choose your car. You choose the speed. You're basically like, all right, if I angle myself just right, I can do a corkscrew and take out this sign, which causes an entire ambulance to crash into the building and like get a higher multiplier. And you're like, yeah. The physics were great too.
It was incredible.
Did you pin down the one you were talking about, Jericho?
I'm sorry.
Oh, the physics
game you were trying to think of?
Oh, no, I didn't.
I didn't see it in chat either.
BeamNG.
Oh, BeamNG. Yes, sorry. That was the one that I was. Yes. So similar, but yeah. This, I mean, obviously, this is a PlayStation 2 game, so we're looking at.
This is the remastered version of Burnout Paradise.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
This is Crash Mode.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that looks awesome.
It hasn't been replicated. It's the best thing.
You said Crash Mode, I instantly thought of Carmageddon, but that is not what this is.
No. This is just like a physics simulator with money on top of cars. And you get like a little bit of boost and multipliers and this is a 22-minute video, and I think he goes on for 22 minutes in a single crash. So it's probably some insane score. But
yeah,
it was so fun. And they haven't done it since. Kind of probably for the reason Jericho said, and that is that car companies don't want to see their cars wrecked, or they don't want consumers to see their cars wrecked as the image of like a
You
Toyota.
can tell when this was made because the cars cost $1,000 and everybody's like, yep, seems about right.
Sure. Yeah. But it's the pinnacle. This
great.
was like Criterion. This is Burnout Paradise, which was the like apex for me, and I think for a lot of others, of Criterion's development in the Burnout world. Because there was probably 4 or 5 Burnouts before this, and they all had different iterations on the Crash Mode and
Knockout.
of just the Burnout IP in general. And this is the greatest of all time.
So this is like a mechanics manipulation, right?
Yes. Well, no, not manipulation. Like, this is the game mode. It's like, hey, you can, like, you see how he's rolling and stuff. Like, you can basically continue your momentum and put yourself in a situation. See that his ride, his ran and
yeah. But this, as far as I know, is not in the new Need for Speed. They're not doing anything like that.
No,
It's just
they're not
random
doing
tangent.
this.
Yeah.
They did have like some battle royale thing and like some previous stuff. Look,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I get excited to see an IP get the chance of not sucking and a rebirth whilst like after years of just being driven into the ground, because like I really lived off of Most Wanted and Carbon and Underground.
Dude, the reason those games and for me the reason any racing game is good is when they nail the sense of speed. And those old Need for Speed games, like they had that formula figured out to a T, and when you wanted to go fast, it felt like you were going fast.
Oh yeah.
And it was and then they also matched awesome music most of the time, as well as not awful music, which was sometimes better.
Lil Jon and the East Side Boys Get Low was the first time I heard that, was literally in Need for Speed Underground. And I was like, oh man, like I waited till that song cycled around so I could write it down because it popped up. And I was like, oh my God. And like Static X, the original Need for Speed Most Wanted soundtrack, I still listen to like unironically just because it's so
Dude,
good.
Paradise had Take Me Home to the Paradise, did Guns N' Roses, which was great. However, the best song in that game was Avril Lavigne Girlfriend. Anytime that would come on, you would just, this is like, oh, this is I gotta go fast as possible. This is the greatest song to race to. There's
So
also,
good.
I think Static X was maybe in one of those games as well.
Yeah.
They had like Push It, and that was
So
fantastic.
quick question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it up against something. Ready?
Okay.
I want you to tell me which one's better. And what game was that you guys were just talking about? The soundtrack?
Most Wanted.
Need for
We were kind of all over the
Most
place.
Wanted,
If
okay.
I was Burnout
Yeah,
Paradise,
right.
he was Most Wanted, yeah.
Okay. So the one with like the Get Low, Static X, whatever, that's Most Wanted.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like
Most
Underground.
Wanted
yeah, but-
soundtrack. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 soundtrack.
See, you can't do this.
Yeah,
This
that's
is so-
kinda
You can't do this. I'm doing
because
this.
Tony Hawk is
no-
like the Mount Olympus of like video
we're talking
game
like
soundtrack.
Okay.
who
I
got
love how,
better
like-
licensing.
Like you guys had somebody queuing you from behind, both of you. No,
Yeah, I
no, we're not. No.
It's so hard, man.
It's very
Like,
hard, man.
you're talking about also the type of music, like both are incredible, but culturally significant to
Yeah.
their own respective groups. Tony Hawk and the punk and skating and that whole, like, you can't hold a candle to it for that group. But like, you're gonna look at me and tell me Riders on the Storm and Get Low being like the feature tracks on this, like, on like my suburban like kids' first experience into this like
Yeah.
car culture. Like really did influence a lot. So they're both incredible, but like, damn, I can't
It's a
compare
tough
'em.
one. Yeah, I don't think you can.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could pick a winner there, Zeke. It also was like a lot of that seems kind of like a relic of the past in terms of licensing that big of music.
No. Forza, like literally, racing games
Is,
go hand
is
in
it of
hand
the
with
same
music.
magnitude
Caliber?
though of music in it though? Is what I'm saying. Am I just
Well,
that
we're
not
not-
in tune
yeah.
of what's big in music anymore?
I don't know because I
Am
only
I the
listen to
problem?
hospital. I only listen to hospital records, but like GTA,
Kids are the
GTA's
problem,
radio is
JP.
huge.
That's right, Co.
The kids
Yeah.
are the problem.
Yeah, Forza's huge. GTA's radio is huge. Like Fortnite radio literally license new music every 2 weeks. Like we've had
Really?
music in it, and
I
that's
knew
just
that,
one
yeah.
of their like 5 radio stations. So yeah, I think we're there definitely in terms of scale, but I think the importance of having a good soundtrack on a physical disc where there were no other alternatives to what you were listening to, like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to overstate how important that was to how much I enjoyed those games. Tony Hawk, Need for Speed, whatever.
Yeah. The only unfortunate thing about the new Need for Speed is that it comes out on December 2nd, and I'll be playing other games because there's 2 other big releases there. I think actually Co will, and probably Zeke will both be playing a horror game by the name of Callisto Protocol on December 2nd. And then I'll
Me
be
too.
playing the Marvel game on December 2nd.
I cannot wait for Callisto. Holy shit, it looks so good.
Oh
like
my
I've been
God,
just
yes.
drooling over over the game. I'm trying not to spoil it too much, but the fact that we get the spiritual successor and then we literally just get Dead Space in January, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be. It's a good couple months.
Yeah. Callisto's looking very strong for that.
Agreed, 100%.
Looks good.
That's one of those games that I think the hit I will take as far as being a hype game will be Well, I mean, it'll be significant, but it'll be a lot less than the God of War hit I would have taken. So it's like
I think it's rather niche.
Just I gotta measure it. Like I'm gonna take a viewer hit a little bit probably because it's a hype-ish game, but it's not God of War hype. So I think that might be all right.
Scary.
Yeah, I think people want to tune into those type of games, Zeke. It's kind of the inverse because they want to see you or Co or whoever's going to play it, Jericho, like lose their shit at a scary moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is. Horror games have a unique rewatchability for me, where I want to watch you go through the mental pain that I went through. It's like a little Schadenfreude, whatever you call it. So I'm like,
dude.
Yeah, no, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's just so, like, I know that we just went through October, and I wish maybe we could have talked about all the horror games that I've been like putting on my wish list and stuff. But like this one definitely, it like they're just like, hey, it's gory. Didn't they show this on the Game Awards or something last year, and they like blurred it out. E3, they blurred out the stuff because it was like, we can't show you him just ripping his head off, and I'm like, oh, perfect, like exactly what I want. Yeah. It should be disgustingly terrifying. Dead Space was the first game that I live streamed, and I'm like, okay,
oh really?
Like,
that's
if we
cool.
can,
I didn't know that. Yeah, it looks great. It's looking nice and spooky.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. One game we talked about this on the air, and I'm honestly blown away. It goes past being surprised. You guys remember Marvel Snap, and we talked about how bad their like Nexus events were when it came to the monetization of that game on the show. They like completely wiped that. That game launched, and now it's one of the biggest games on mobile.
I've been seeing people.
Everyone is playing Marvel Snap.
A lot of people are saying it's great.
Yeah. I'm back to playing it.
Streaming the hell out of it. Yeah, and he said he was loving it.
Yeah. I saw like even Sacriel is playing and streaming nonstop Snap, which is with where that game was when we last talked about it on the show. Did not expect that because they were kind of fucking up monetization wise, and they just
now I know this has been answered multiple times, but I need to ask again: is it just on mobile or is it on PC too?
There's a Steam client for it officially. Yeah, it's not it's not a great Steam client of it, but it runs fine. Oh, really? Okay. It does everything you want it to on a PC. Okay, but it's.
I'm just wondering if I can play it on Steam Deck.
Yes. Well, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. At that point, just get on your phone. Like, why not just play it on a phone if you're gonna play it on Steam Deck?
Because the Steam Deck is this fucking big. That's why.
How big's your phone? I mean, it's
a regular size. It's a regular size phone.
It's good.
Have you compared the two?
It's gonna be. You can only play it like this.
Steam Deck is like this.
Yeah. It's a touch screen game. I don't know. I guess you do. You play how you want.
I've never ever liked mobile games, phone mobile games. I've never liked phone mobile games because I am already klutzy. Like I'm already all fucking thumbs. And give me like I've got to tap an icon that's like, a millimeter wide. Like that's not happening.
I think you'd be fine. And also it's it is the perfect game, Zeke, to I'm going to go use the restroom real quick, take a break on stream, we'll be right back, pull out your phone, Marvel Snap, you play a game within less than 2 or 3 minutes, and then you just put it away, you're done. It's perfect for that. So I would just use your phone. You can also only play in a vertical landscape, Zeke. You can't play, or in a vertical mode, you can't play landscape.
It's your gaming iPad.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's just like, even like with that in mind. Oh yeah, because a Steam Deck would be, it's way longer than it is high. So it might be, I see what you're saying.
It's already going to be
it might be as high as it is. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, there's nothing like there's nothing small for you to like mess with on the like everything's very large. You won't have issues.
It's coming around at a good time because Magic the Gathering and I recently broke up again. Like the on and off again relationship.
Was it a bad breakup?
It was a bad breakup. It was a like, listen, I've warned you about using blue cards so many times and you just don't listen to me, Magic the Gathering. You keep coming at me with blue. And you keep taking my stuff or returning stuff to my hand, and I I want you to feel. I want you to. I'm using feeling words here. I feel frustrated
It's always
when you
blue.
take my creatures or don't let me get my creatures on the board. Okay. And I left, but I left the door open because I deleted Magic the Gathering's number on most of my stuff. I still have the number.
Okay.
Like in my gaming PC, my main PC,
For what it's worth, Zeke,
I still have the number there.
For what it's worth, you will most likely get pretty upset at Snap as well. There's a lot of RNG. Yeah. And a lot of the RNG isn't on the other player. It's on the 3 locations that spawn, where like a location could spawn, it'll just fuck you. Like your hand is.
Well,
just
that's the thing.
screwed.
I don't mind that as much.
Okay.
Because it's like everybody gets bad RNG.
Yeah. And it screws the other player over as well. Sometimes
it's like getting, if you know anything about Magic, it's like getting mana flooded or mana starved. Like you don't get enough mana to get your shit out, or you get too much and you don't get enough, other cards.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't bother me if I lose like that, because everybody goes through that. That's fine. That's random. It'll happen.
Yep.
And
that happens.
But like
Snap.
when I feel like the decks I like to play won't ever win against, certain other decks, like it just frustrates me to no end. Because it's like, oh great, well I know what you're playing and I'm gonna lose. It sucks.
Yeah. So let me know if you download it though. I'm curious to see if you enjoy it. It's good. It's got huge deep cuts into the Marvel world, so I think you'll appreciate some of that.
No, and I love the artwork, man. I remember looking through my buddy's.
Yeah,
he had the full set, the full run of the Marvel cards, like back in the '90s. He had like this huge, like, and every single one had like this awesome artwork, and every single one had like their stats and all that shit. And you like have fun like going and comparing, like, okay, what if Plastic Man fought the Flash? And be like, okay, and you compare their stats and shit like that. You have these like mock battles in your head.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, no, but his strength and his quickness and blah blah blah. I love that shit. So like that was totally appealing to me.
Your friend created Marvel Snap then, because that's basically what the game is. Is what if these trading cards had stats and they fought each other? That's exactly what happens.
That's really cool.
Yeah. We'll talk about it next week. Maybe we'll have DJ Wheat on next week. He'll be joining us as our guest, and then after that, not sure. Haven't we had. Shroud said something about some big announcement and happening this month, and then again at the end of December, and that he would come back on the show. So maybe he's coming back. I don't know.
I think he wanted to come back at the end of December after said big announcement.
Okay, it was after.
Oh,
okay.
He's starting an org. There's no other way.
I don't know what it is.
Here's the thing. He specifically said, because we were talking about esports and stuff, and we had mentioned how we just kind of lightly follow it and stuff. And then he kind of segued into, oh, well, there's this big thing coming that I think you'll all be interested in.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like,
I don't know
what are you talking about? And he immediately goes, I've said too much.
I have a prediction.
Okay, what's your prediction?
What does that mean?
He's gonna capitalize the S. Finally.
Oh,
you think so?
Shut up. No way.
Man.
Huge.
That would be huge. We would immediately need to have him back on for that.
Yeah. So we'll line something up. That'll be the 27th. We don't know who will be joining us on the show, but I'll secure a guest and we'll go from there. We're a little bit over. Let's wrap up. Quick check-in. Code, did you finish did you get a clean save?
I did.
Okay.
I got it.
Fantastic.
Nice.
It took me a little bit.
The stream
to do
is
a
saved.
forced retreat, use some story points. We got there. I'm kind of sad I didn't get to talk about Star Sector, by the way. It's
next week.
More people need to know about Star Sector, but we'll talk about it next week.
Look, God of War dominated this week, and
True.
Probably won't dominate much as next week because I don't think Zeke's going to be done. I don't even know if I'm going to be done by next week. I might have another 30, 40 hours at that.
Oh yeah, I'm not putting a clock on this. I'm playing it when I have leisure time to play it.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll come back up in early January on a yearly annual show. I'm sure that will be a factor.
Yeah, no, I'm planning on finishing it at least before our games of the year show.
For
sure.
Sure, there's some discussion there. Yeah, Jericho, you want to do some shout outs?
Yeah.
Let's see if the card loaded correct. Hey,
let's go.
It's old, but it works. Jericho, do some shout outs.
Continuing to ask you if you want to use DMCA free music that doesn't suck and sound like elevator music, then you should check out my record label Night Mode. We have a new song coming out this Friday. We just put out a song last Friday. We have a music kit in Counter-Strike, so if you play that and you want to have MVP music, buy that. Otherwise, I'm going to go play Call of Duty after this, after trashing it for like 30 minutes.
Well, that's how it goes. I know how it is. I know how it is. Zeke, what do you got going on? Do some shout outs.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Before I give my shout outs, I wanted to give you another album versus album that I think would be an even closer match.
Oh, no.
We can't
Ready?
do this.
Ready?
No.
I'm going Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 soundtrack versus the Crow soundtrack. All right, discuss.
Tony Hawk 1. I don't have reverence for Crow. That's easy.
Dude, the Crow soundtrack
I don't even know what Crow
shaped
is.
a lot of my life, dude. The Crow 1994 movie soundtrack. Fucking.
I was one.
Maybe it's for the old guys then.
Oh no, you weren't one. That's terrible.
God. Anyway, my name is Ezekiel the Third. I'm obviously fucking old, apparently. And if you want to watch me, old man yells at video games. I stream at 10 a.m. Pacific most every day. I will be starting my Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Subsistence Resistance, whatever. I will be starting that on Tuesday. My first time ever playing any of the Metal Gear games, like all the way through. And it's been a fucking hell of a journey. Metal Gear Solid 2 was a trip, and everybody's like, from all reports, people saying Metal Gear Solid 3 is a fan, like one of the fan favorites, if not the most fan favorite. So yeah. I'm excited to start my journey with that on Tuesday. And if you want to follow me on Twitch and Twitter and YouTube, it's at Ezekiel_III and Ezekiel the Third all spelled out on TikTok and Instagram. So thanks for watching.
What a thrill, Zeke. What a thrill.
No, I've heard that. That must be in the game. I've heard that a couple times. What a thrill. I heard you're pretty good before I played Metal Gear Solid 2. So I was like, oh, okay. Someone says that.
Yeah. What a thrill. Go.
And also a dud.
Go. Do some shout outs.
As always, big thanks to JP and Zeke. Big thanks to Jericho for showing up today. We appreciate it. Awesome. My name is Ko. I'm going to be playing a lot of God of War. We got Pentiment coming up soon. We've got Darktide coming up soon. We've got Star Sectors in the evenings. We've got Callisto around the corner. We got a lot of fun stuff to do. So hope to see you in the channel. And as always, thank you guys for watching. See you next week if I don't see you before then.
Awesome stuff. Tomorrow on MCU Crew, we're going to be talking about Black Panther 2. I got to get out of here to go see Black Panther 2 to talk about it. We've also been counting down a whole new thing that's going to be a pretty big thing on my channel over at lastcallforadventure.com. Feel free to go check it out if you're a fan of tabletop or D&D at all. That'll be tomorrow, I think, is when that countdown
I had a bunch of questions about that too. Damn.
Yeah.
Much to talk about.
Tune in tomorrow, Ko, at 5 o'clock Eastern. Last Call for Adventure. We'll peel back the curtain. We'll open it. It's fully revealed tomorrow. And then I think that's it. Just more God of War on the channel. Absolutely loving that game and having a fun time with the playthrough as well. That's it for us this week. If you missed anything for Drop Frames, you can grab the VOD, youtube.com/HitMeJP, or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere where podcasts are available. We're out of here. Jericho, thanks for showing up. Literally,
thanks for having me
to the show. Hope you get some sleep and maybe some Tylenol and some greasy food for that potential hangover you might have. And we'll be back next week with more Drop Frames. We're out of here. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill, I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme.
Thanks everyone so much for coming out to the show. Hope you guys had a great time. Make sure to hit the follow button on the Drop Frames extension. You can do so by hovering over the mouse or clicking on the screen, I think, if you're on mobile. Should give you access to everyone's channel, and you can just simply tap for that follow. We do appreciate it. What a song, you know? Just great. We'll run some ads and start closing down the channels as the ads finish. We'll see you guys tomorrow or tonight on Co's channel. And Jericho said he's going to be streaming some COD as well if you want to go check that out. See you soon. Bye-bye.
You feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive.